You are now entering the world of Jack Gravely, a talk show you can participate in, believe in, and a host you can disagree with. So sit back and listen to the edgy, entertaining, and educational Grand Central Station of Talk Radio in beautiful downtown Richmond, Virginia. The Jack Gravely Show begins right now.
And a good morning to you. Thank you for joining me here on the Jack Gravely Show, coming to you from WLEE News Talk 990 here in Richmond, Virginia. It's a Tuesday morning, December the 6th. For some Virginians, it's Election Day. And urge you to get out and vote. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. But the big issue in the news, off the news, and around the news is sentencing day for former Governor Bob McDonnell. This is the day that Judge Spencer is to make a decision in reference to the sentencing of 60-year-old former Governor Bob McDonnell. Prosecutors are asking for 10 to 12 years. The McDonnell team is asking for somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,000 to 6,000 hours of community service. We will see what happens. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Virginia way today. We're going to talk about some bits and pieces that I have laid out for you this morning. We're going to talk about how long you think these gas prices are going to last. And we're going to talk about the movie Selma and the criticism that it is receiving, although it also is receiving accolades for being an excellent movie about the late Dr. Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement. And we're going to talk about David Duke and the Ku Klux Klan's man in Washington. I don't care how you slice it or dice it. Steve Scalise, you're the Klan's man in Washington. We'll talk about that. And then I read a very interesting article last several days. And if you want to know where Cuba is heading in its relationship with the United States, all you have to do is take a look at Vietnam. And we're going to talk a little bit about groupthink, boards and people, how people get elected, what they do when they get on boards or what they should do, and the lack of information and knowledge and training that many people have that serve on boards, that are appointed presidents of boards and councils and commissions and agencies. They have no idea how to work with others, the governance of an organization through a board. We're going to talk about that a little bit here on the Jack Gravely Show. Other than that, we have those issues out there this morning. And please don't try to slide any issues I'm not aware of in out there. Look, my telephone number is 788-0990, 788-0990. My toll-free number is 877-953-3990, and that gets you to the Jack Gravely Show. Today is Tuesday, 11 o'clock this morning. We're going down to WKQA 1110 Freedom Radio in Norfolk, Virginia, and we hope that you would join us and stay with us on there. Those are some of the items I want to talk about this morning, and we welcome you in. Beautiful day. I tell you what I did this morning. Coming in, Billy had placed an app on my cell phone to help me negotiate the highway. I don't know where Billy went. I thought I didn't ask him to mic up, but Billy had placed it. It's called, what is it called? It's called
Waze, W-A-Z-E.
Right, yeah. Billy mic'd up. Thank you. And it's called Waze. And Billy was showing me some stuff about Waze this morning. And let me tell you, you don't need, what is the thing that people use that's illegal to find police officers?
I don't know anything about illegal stuff, Jeff.
You know, the thing you put in your car. You know,
radar detectors?
Radar detectors.
Nah, you don't need
You
those.
don't need a radar detector with that because they tell you where the police are.
Yeah.
And it's legal.
Absolutely.
Absolutely legal.
Because it's been around for years. Cops know all about it. Buddy of mine argued with me when I first told him about it. He's like, well, you better use that while you can. I'm like, why?
Why?
Because it's going to be illegal. Cops going to shut you down. I'm like, well, they haven't yet. Now people have added, if you drive up to a camera, not to a camera, to a red light cameras have been marked too.
Wow. And how do you pronounce that?
Waze.
App?
Waze.
And I used it this morning coming up I-95, and I'm going to tell you, it was a charm. I should have used it yesterday. But
yesterday would have really helped you.
Yeah, but I didn't appreciate how Jim and everybody threw me under the bus yesterday. Oh, Jack Gravely riding up 85, got this from his hand and won't even use it and running into all that traffic.
Well, the fun thing about it was when you called and said where you were, I opened it up on my phone and went, wow, Jack, if you had this, it would have told you to exit about 2 miles earlier and go around that whole thing.
I didn't know, man. I didn't know. I got a call on that stuff. And then somebody called on the show yesterday and tell me I got to start getting to work on time.
Well, like last night about 5:30ish, I'm trying to drive over to Midlothian.
Okay.
And 95 all of a sudden just becomes a parking lot. It becomes like Northern Virginia traffic,
right.
And I have no idea what's going on. And I'm like, Waze pops up and goes, hey, let's hop off here on Maury, and we can cut down and connect to Jefferson Davis Highway and get over to Chippenham. Took me an extra 10 minutes that way, but that was, better than sitting in a parking lot for another 45 minutes.
And speaking of Northern Virginia, understand they're going to get about 2 or 3 inches of snow, or in fact, it's already snowing in downtown Washington, D.C. I hope to call or contact up there and get a report on what's going on in downtown D.C. But yeah, the app that you gave me, Billy, if I'd had it yesterday, I would have arrived at work on time. I appreciate it. I used it this morning. But
you'll find that even places that you know where you're going, you'll just turn that on and put it in there just for things like that.
Like that.
Because you never know when it's going to pop up and go, hey, we found a quicker way, go this way. Because the most beautiful one, I'm driving back from Pittsburgh a couple years ago, and you can see in the distance the traffic's starting to slow down. Waze has me hop off. I drive a side street, and I get back onto an on-ramp, and the on-ramp puts you on the highway just past where the accident was.
And the thing I like about it is that once you have Waze up, how you pronounce it?
Waze.
How do you, once you have Waze up, it lays out the streets, names, directions, and everything, and you can see it. It's very easy to read. 14th Street, 18th Street, Oliver Hill, Hospital, VCU, Wesley, Canal, 95, Commerce, Cowarden. All of it is laid out in front of you.
I turn the volume off on mine, but if you had the volume up, it would talk to you.
Yes, yeah. Can you talk back to it?
Not
okay.
exactly. You can hit the thing, it'll recognize your voice when you want to say like you want to go someplace, but you can't go computer. That's still the future. It's coming.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jack Gravely Show. Thank you very much, Billy. We appreciate it. The app that I should have used yesterday, I used today. I didn't need it today. Ryan is running the board for me this morning. Thank you for joining us here on the Jack Gravely Show, coming to you from WLEE News Talk 990, and we'll be back in a few minutes. We are before the curve this morning on breaks. We're going to stay that way, I hope. Stay with us.
Jack will be right back. Call into the show at 788-0990.
CEO Radio, I'm Ray Hoffman. A lot of companies offer corporate classes in team building and communications and executive leadership. But learning and training by interacting with horses, that's what the Horse Institute offers. There, the horses help corporate teams in their analytical and planning skills, also their communication skills. The head of the Horse Institute, located in the Hudson River Valley, Marie-Claude Stockel, says a number of companies have sent in teams of managers who normally work in different time zones.
And they learn to know each other and work well together really quickly. In less than a day, you find a lot about yourself, your style, because it's a playing field that's equal for everyone.
And so demanding that Marie-Claude Stockel says there's no time to check your iPhone for messages.
You really have to pay attention when you have those 1,500-pound animals around you.
And keep in mind, each activity with the horses runs upwards of 30 minutes, followed by a group discussion. Ray Hoffman for CBS Radio News.
Introducing the YMCA. What, you already know the why? Or so you think. Sure, you know the why for a swim, a workout, even a game of hoops. But did you know we're more than that? We're a cause. When you take your jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Take a cardio class, while kids are in an after-school enrichment program. Practice your downward-facing dog as a teen practices her leadership skills. That's the Y. We work with people no matter their age, income, or background and give them the opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive, all with one simple goal in mind, to strengthen our community. And we've got so much more that does just that. So while you might think of the Y as that place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. Introducing the Y. We're so much more than a place. We're a cause. Visit ymca.net/more.
Hey, you! Yeah, you, mister. I'm 18 years old at the top of my game, and I got everything to look forward to. Over here. I got a question for you. Did you register with Selective Service yet? No? Give me a break. All those big plans you got, all those big dreams, forget about it. College, forget about it. If you need student loans, job training, forget about it. Government jobs, forget about it. If you're an 18-year-old guy and you're not registered, you can't even get your driver's license renewed in most states. And you can't become a citizen if you're an immigrant. So here's the deal. It's the law. If you're at a computer, it takes like a minute to get it done at sss.gov. No computer, no excuses. Go to the post office, fill out a Selective Service registration form, and drop it in the mail. Done. Bada bing. So save yourself the hassle you don't need and go chase those dreams and get on with your life. Now get out of here and don't forget about it. Register with Selective Service. That's sss.gov, or go to your post office.
Over the past 50 years, SCORE mentors have helped more than 10 million small business owners succeed for free.
Starting a business can be incredibly confusing.
SCORE really helped me steer the course.
Whatever the business, there's a SCORE mentor that has the experience and know-how to help you reach your goals.
SCORE mentors are serious business experts.
Whether you're a startup or an existing business, SCORE can provide the perspective and advice that ensures success.
My SCORE mentor has been tremendously helpful in the marketing of my business.
SCORE is a nonprofit organization where we provide free business consulting services to people who want to start a business or already in business.
Are you starting or growing a business? Be one of the next 10 million small businesses helped for free by SCORE. Get your free business mentor at score.org.
Now, more with Jack Gravely on WLEE News Talk 990.
Just had to bring you in with a little jazz this morning. Had to open it up like that. You know, a good morning, good jazz. Good plate of fried potatoes. Yeah. Country fried ham. Or you can bake it in the oven. Doesn't matter. Tell you, man, I was in the kitchen yesterday. I had my wife, Barbara, and the two sisters, so I cooked for them yesterday. Let me tell you what I cooked for them. I made some New Orleans Creole-style succotash for them. You know, with the bacon and corn, baby llamas, parsley, right? Some rosemary, some seasoned salt. Put it on there. Just a little bit of smart butter, not real butter, but smart butter. A little salt and pepper. Boiled them. And then I dumped them into that skillet with those bacon bits. And I sauteed them a little bit, and I just let them just simmer there for a minute or two. I have almost just a half a cup left this morning. And I fried them some trout fillet, some croaker. And then I went on and made my masterpiece. I peeled and fried them some potatoes. You know, the whole deal. The onions, green peppers, seasoning salt and pepper, parsley flakes. Yeah, I do all of that. You understand? And just simmer it. And, you know, no bread. Nice glass of wine on the side. You know, I was a cook yesterday. Enjoyed it. Like being in the kitchen. But let me tell you, I like cooking shows. I like sports. I like news. I like cooking shows. I love to look at cooking shows. And this guy from New Orleans, I didn't, you know, what he does at Succotash in New Orleans, they dump a can of crushed or diced up tomatoes in that succotash. You understand what I'm saying? And I didn't do that yesterday because someone in the crowd did not like tomatoes in their succotash. But that's what I did, and it was nice. It was nice. And it's a way of getting kids to eat some good, real, stick-to-your-rib food. And, you know, you can get low sodium, low fat. You can use turkey bacon. You can use chicken bacon. It is the flavor. It is the flavor. You know, you don't have to do all the grease. You don't have to do all the stuff. And it's a way you can eat, and it's a way you can fix food that is tasteful, that's delicious, scrumptious, and it reminds kids of real food and all like that. And I can tell you, over the holidays, the Generation X, the younger generation today, many of those kids, in my opinion, not all of them, but many of them, don't know what it is to sit down and eat a good meal at a table. And I can tell you, I always enjoyed when we had to sit down at home where everybody on Sunday, you had to be at my daddy's table. I'm telling you. I don't care if it was your girlfriend, basketball game, fixing a flat tire, going over to Duke's house. You had to be home on Sundays after church to eat dinner with the family. And if you weren't there, you had to bring the sheriff, the president, and the Pope to give a good reason as to why you weren't there. I can tell you that. I can tell you. I mean, and I never, you know, we never thought about it, you know, on Sundays about 2 o'clock after church, everybody would be home to eat. And I didn't know, but that built a camaraderie, that built a family connection, that built a tradition that's still with me to this very day. That's still with me this very day. You sit down and you eat. And the conversations and just being there and getting a feel for your family and for the whole ambiance of being around your family on a Sunday. One day a week, and you do that, and you lay there and you talk and you laugh and you point fingers and you say, no, I didn't. Yes, I did. You gonna do this. I saw you with him. I saw you holding his, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I think we've lost a little of that. Need to get back to that. And it's something that can be easily found. It's not like you lost it in outer space that you can't get back to it. You can. And it creates a kind of table manners. It creates a kind of civic relationship with other folk. And you also learn what good food for us Southern folk. And I understand that Southern people may eat just a little bit different from people from other parts of the country. But I can tell you, those Sundays at that little house there in Pocahontas, Virginia, you know, we didn't have all the glass and the glitter. We didn't have all the best, and it was tight in there, and we didn't have air conditioning. We didn't have a fan in the ceiling. But let me tell you, I would not trade it for anything in the world. Have a sit-down Sunday dinner in your house with your kids and anybody in your house and cook it and talk about it and teach. And the young folk can't teach you. I know why some people don't get married. They can't cook. Don't know anything about a kitchen. Jack Gravely Show, 788-0990. My first soapbox for the day. 877-953-3990 here on the Jack Gravely Show, coming to you from downtown Richmond, Virginia. Let's get started this morning. My agenda sheet. Today is election day. And all I can say to you is that vote. 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 I don't need to go through trying to sway or tell anybody who to vote for. I tell you what I believe and what I think from the position that I'm in. You know that. I don't need to go any further down the road, and we'll just deal with that. Now, but the issue that I really wanted to talk about here this morning is the issue that at 10 o'clock this morning in the federal court building in downtown Richmond, Virginia, former Governor Bob McDonnell will stand before Judge Spencer and receive his sentence today. 71st governor. Sad day for Virginia. But I have said yesterday and before that I thought this governor deserved some jail time. I thought this governor deserved some jail time. I still feel that way. I felt, and I've stated the reason why. I don't think I need to go back through that, but if anyone want to call in and ask, I will go through it. But I think he needs to have some jail time. And I hope Judge Spencer gives him some jail time. He sold, gave away, or used what people would say the good name of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And when you have politicians who use their position to enrich themselves or family members or people close to them, then I think they should pay for it. And then it would send a message to those on the streets that those in the suites will receive the same justice or the same kind of equality before the law that you have received. I can tell you that. And there is a divide in the criminal justice system in America. There is a divide in what people receive and perceive of the criminal justice system in America. That if you're rich, that if you have money, that if you have connections, that if you have a title or a position, then no matter what you do, there's always a way that the criminal justice system is going to work it out with you. They're going to work it out in your favor. They're going to give you a break. They're going to consider you. And then the other thing that really pops up at me when you have cases like this is that individuals would plead that he loves his family. I can be a drug dealer and I love my family. I can be a bank robber and I love my family. So why is it that a governor or a banker or a lawyer love for his family is any more than my love of my family? Why? Why is it that they love their family more than I love mine? I love my family just as much. I'm speaking generically for those who are the shut out, defeated, despised, and defeated. They love their family just as much as a governor loves his family. Simply because they've done wrong does not in any way negate their love and protection for their family. And then the fact that if something happens to this governor or bank or lawyer is that it would just destroy the family. As if putting me in jail does not destroy my family. Locking me up does not hurt my 13-year-old daughter. Locking me up does not hurt my embarrass or disgrace my 25-year-old son or daughter. Where does that come from? As if simply because you have a name, a little education, and wear a shirt and tie, that certain virtues and values are attributed to you more than others. That is one of the most elitist things I see that is corrosive across America. Oh, give her a break. You know she was in Broadway play. Oh, give her a break. You know her father did this. Oh, give him a break. You know his daddy was the first. No. If you're a crook, you're a crook. If you're a liar, you're a liar. If you stole, you stole. If you're a fraud, you're a fraud. Just like if someone's a bank robber, a thief, a carjacker, a meth maker. What is it about some in America that can parse the type of crime that people of means, of education, status, and position commit, and then cast a demeaning eye on people of lesser, or are, as I read in a paper over the weekend, the unwashed? That whole concept. You're not clean enough. Break time. Jack Gravely Show. Stay with me.
Stick around. The Jack Gravely Show will be right back on WLEE News Talk 990.
I'm working 2 jobs, and my husband works too. My kids go to school with your kids. I sit next to you at PTA meetings. We live right next door. We've been neighbors for years. You know my family and me pretty well, but here's one thing you don't know. I'm one out of every 6 Americans, and my family is struggling with hunger. Like you, we believe in this country. What's hard to believe is in the land of milk and honey, how many hardworking Americans have to choose between paying bills and feeding their families. This is a problem with a solution. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 7 meals for those around you quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is the sound of a brand new outdoor grill being hurled off a 20-story building. Now a stylish glass coffee table. An electric guitar. These are the things you could enjoy, all cast into oblivion. Because when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have bought with it. Visit EnergySavers.gov and get tips on how to save energy and money. Then do things like switch to Energy Star light bulbs or Energy Star appliances, and you could save hundreds of dollars a year. So this doesn't happen to the recliner you've had your eye on, or this to the treadmill on your wish list, or this to the shiny new bike your kid's been asking for. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Now, more with Jack Gravely on WLEE News Talk 990.
Thank you very much for staying with me on the Jack Gravely Show, coming to you from beautiful downtown Richmond, Virginia. It is a Tuesday morning. It is the 6th of January. It is overcast outside. It's a little nippy. It's getting cold down here. And they're saying it's snowing north of Fredericksburg, Virginia. I understand there are a couple of inches of snow on the ground in downtown Washington, D.C. I understand it's not going to reach our area, but I did hear a weather forecast saying that we might get a few flurries today, but it is cold out there, so dress and take actions accordingly to make sure you stay warm out there. I want to go to this whole concept of Virginia Way and tying up my piece on former Governor Bob McDonnell here this morning. Historically, there's been this whole concept of this Virginia gentleman's mystique here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, that politicians and public leaders and figures would lead with integrity and respect and honesty, that they need no laws, they needed no laws to control their acts and actions, that public servants in the state of Virginia took that job seriously, and they were Virginia gentlemen that did not lie, did not cheat, did not steal, and did not run around on their wife, or men. Now, and I know I'm constantly referring to men because that's what it was. You don't hear a term Virginia gentlewomen, do you? It's Virginia gentlemen. It's all about men. And that kind of concept also takes hold in politics. Virginia has some of the weakest ethics laws, even with the law that they passed last year, still weak here in Virginia, because they labor under this myth that politicians in Virginia don't lie and do illegal things, and they do. And they do. There is money to be made, and politicians know how to make it. I have yet to see any politician go in office unless he or she is charged with the crime and sent to jail like Bob McDonnell. I have yet to see a politician go into office and not come back financially better off than they did when they went in. I have yet to see or hear. There may be some. There may be some. I don't know. Most politicians, bottom line, our financial pockets, our financial wealth grows or become greater when they enter public life. They may enter public life as a $100,000 man they come out as a $5 or $10 or $18 million man. There may be some exceptions, and I know there are some exceptions. But for the most part, most politicians become richer once they enter public life. Now, you go figure. Is it a job to help people, or is it a job to make money? You go figure. Then the third factor is that I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. That is hard for me. May not have known everything, but I just don't believe someone could be married to someone for 20, 30 years and not know some of the aspects of that person's life, even if it is on a secret or down low side. I don't buy that either. I don't accept that. And then to hear members of the family say, the McDonald family say, they knew about her behavior for years and never told Bob, I find that even more so. And you're the sister? You're the sister-in-law? Are you the brother? Are you what? I find that incredible. Jack Gravely Show. Let's go to Kevin down in Atlanta. Kevin, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Hey, good morning, Jack. How are you today?
Morning, Kevin.
Didn't get to say Happy New Year to you.
Same to you, man.
Jack, I remember, man, how long ago was this? Probably over a year ago or 2 years ago. I distinctly remember I called your show and I said, Jack, do you think the governor is going to jail? And back then, well, you said, I think you said no, or you didn't really think to see. But the point is that back then we didn't think that there was much. There didn't seem to be much to it. But now to see how this thing has unfolded and to see that this governor may be going to prison for 10 years is just absolutely amazing.
It is.
And you know, so I just wanted to say that it's just, you know, and I just the whole drama behind it and how, you know, the wife being thrown under the bus and the children throwing the mother under the bus, and it's just, I don't know, it's just really shocking. But that's pretty much my comment. And to say in passing that this Joe Morrissey guy, you know, I'm down here in Atlanta. I don't really know who this Joe, but this whole Joe Morrissey saga is really interesting to kind of follow up there. That should be a national news story. What's going on with this guy? The commercials, the political commercials, are actually pretty funny too. I might add.
Okay.
So, but anyway, have a good morning, Jack.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Kevin. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody in Atlanta knows about our news and our stories up here in Virginia. And in fact, this morning on MSNBC, Joe Scarborough show. The Bob McDonald trial and sentencing was one of the lead stories. Was one of the lead stories that they talked about for more than a minute this morning. So it's not like it's just on the Jack Gravely show or on the big show or the little show in the afternoon. You know, it's not only Jim Jacobs or Jack Gravely or whatever talking about it. They're talking about it on the national scale. They're talking about it on a national scale, and I am quite sure. Today, after the sentencing, in about, it's about 20 minutes of 10 right now, so another 20 or 30 minutes, we might know something. But I figure we may not know the sentencing till about 11, 12 o'clock today, because there are going to be statements by the prosecutor, the government. There's going to be rebuttals or statements by the McDonald family, the defense, and I understand that he may very well speak. I would expect him to speak today. And I think he's going to pull everything he can out to say to the judge in reference to why he shouldn't go to jail. Again, the thing that I wish to point out, and I'm harping on this morning, is this whole concept that for some reason all the 49 other states have all of this corruption and bad politicians and ethics laws, and that Virginia is an island of respectability, of truth, and everything else in the center of it, and don't need it. And I'm telling you, Virginians, that is something that is a myth and that's a lie. Politicians in this state are just like politicians anyplace else. And I don't care whether they are black politicians or white politicians. I don't care whether they are Democrats or Republicans, conservative or liberal, Christian or non-Christian. Don't care. They are politicians. They are people. They have flaws. They lie. They cheat. And they do whatever they have to. Do we know all of it? No, we do not. But this thing of giving politicians and public leaders in the Commonwealth of Virginia this absolutely incredible, invincible shield of respectability and decorum and truth and veracity is a myth that many newspapers, that many public figures, that many politicians, that many writers have perpetrated on you as citizens of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Byrd machine was a political dictatorship in this state. Did whatever they want, stopped people from voting, helped shut down schools, maneuvered and appointed judges, didn't give a hoot about anyone else except upper class, white, middle class. And let me say this to you, to my poor white brothers and sisters out there. You never got, I don't still think that poor or economically challenged white folk have gotten the memo yet. You still don't believe. Haven't gotten the memo yet. When they put precautions up for people to stop people from voting, not only did it stop black people from voting, it stopped a lot of poor white folk from voting. Go back and read your history in Virginia. I think it was 1912, 1915, when they configured and redrafted the Constitution. The requirements to vote in there hurt a lot of poor white folk. They don't own any land, had not voted in the last 10 years. Granddaddy may not have voted. It hurt you. And when the poll tax, black folk and white folk were poor just alike. You didn't have the money to pay the poll tax, so you couldn't vote. But yet and still, they voted for these politicians. And that is one of the instances where people would say, why do people vote against their own self-interest? Let's go to Willard. Willard, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Oh, my God, I just can't believe what I'm hearing. I mean, being from North Carolina, you know, that old country state down there, you know, they can't, I just can't believe what I'm hearing from this Virginian talking about the great Commonwealth of Virginia and all the corruption and things. It's just beyond me. I just can't believe this.
Willard, you never should have left North Carolina.
Hey, I'm up here. We're up here on missionary work. We have been working for years, and it doesn't seem like it doesn't do any good. But it's I have to, you know, it's very, very interesting from a serious point of view. The damage that was done by the Byrd machine in massive resistance. The state of Virginia is still feeling the consequences of it. I mean, all you have to do is look at the Research Triangle down in North Carolina and look what Terry Sanford did. Again,
great governor.
The racism in Carolina is there. Believe me, I know, having been down there, and I can see it. But the government officials in North Carolina were much more law-abiding than the officials here in Virginia. And that's why the Ku Klux Klan was so big in North Carolina, because while the officials didn't like what was going on in certain things, they still abided by the law. Virginians, on the other hand, basically, in sort of a roundabout way, broke the law by massive resistance. I mean, shutting school systems down, and you make a very good point. In Norfolk, Virginia, white students didn't go to school either because they didn't have a school.
Okay.
And but anyway, did you get my email?
Oh, yes, I did. I haven't had a chance to go through it yet, but I got it.
Well, again, Stephen Brill is very, very. His comment about Obamacare and the incompetency in the White House, and he lays the blame on Valerie Jarrett.
Okay. All right, let's leave it at that. I'll get to it because we're going off topic a little bit, and plus I got to take a break. Thanks a lot, Willard. Appreciate the calls. Break time.
What you need, but don't leave me with no direction. All alone, I sit home by the phone, waiting for you. Baby,
Jack will be back after a few messages on WLEE News Talk 990.
Providing a safe, clean, and productive environment for seniors, veterans with mental health needs, and disabled in your family may be a challenge. But the Faith Sharon Home Adult Daycare Facility can help you. It's located at 325 South Hill Carter Parkway in Ashland. The facility provides daily activities for seniors, from exercises to games to outings, movies, and they also provide breakfast and lunch with a great staff, great nurses, located in a great area. The Faith Sharon Home Adult Daycare Center telephone number is 804-307-0707. Call them at 804-307-0707. Faith Sharon Homes will provide daycare activities for seniors, for elderly, disabled, and veterans with mental health needs in a place that is safe and professional. You know, sometimes looking your best will require a little help. That's when Johnson's Beauty Salon at 402 North 2nd Street comes in. Johnson's Beauty Salon, a licensed professional salon, can provide you with the shampoo, hair trims, coloring, weaves, relaxer, flat iron, and all the other hair needs you would want. The shop personnel are all professional and dedicated to providing you the best service in the city. Johnson's Beauty Salon, open from Tuesday through Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. The telephone number is area code 804-649-2572. They're open Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Walk-ins are always welcome. Appointments after 5 p.m. are required on weekdays. Call Johnson's Beauty Salon at 649-2572.
Janice, did you hear what the Democratic Party did over the weekend? No, what? Instead of letting me decide who I want as my delegate, 100 party officials got together and chose for me. I couldn't even vote. It's just wrong.
I heard about that. Who gave them the right to decide for me?
How dare they? Who are these 100 people anyway?
I don't know, but I'll tell you this. I'm going to make my own decision, and I'm voting for Joe Morrissey on January 13th.
Me too. No one else is going to tell me who to vote for. For 7.5 years, Joe has fought for things I believe in. Voting rights, a living wage, restoration of rights.
And don't forget health care.
That's right. I love Joe. He's not afraid to stand up, speak out, and fight for the people.
Don't let party bosses vote for you on January 13th. Vote for Delegate Joe Morrissey.
This ad was paid for by Friends of Joe Morrissey.
Hey, parents of children with asthma, here's the Breathe Easies with another one of your favorite hits.
Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke around the kids in the house. Don't smoke in the car. Don't smoke in the house. Don't break my heart with your secondhand smoke in the kids. It can trigger the asthma.
Preventing asthma attacks can be as simple as making your home and car smoke-free zones. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org or just keep listening.
Vacuum up the floor. Vacuum up the floor. Yeah! Vacuum up the floor. The asthma trigger is no more. You gotta vacuum up the furniture and vacuum in the cracks, because the dander and the dust can give kids asthma attacks.
Simple steps can help your kids breathe easier. Vacuum up the floor to keep your house free of dust, dander, and dust mites. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org. Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
For live streaming audio of The Jack Gravely Show, log on to WLEE990.am.
Thank you very much for staying with me on the Jack Gravely Show Tuesday morning. Overcast, a little cold here in Richmond, Virginia, but we're very delighted to be here with you. You can reach me at 788-0990, 788-0990. My toll-free number is 877-953-3990 here on the Jack Gravely Show. We're talking about and awaiting the sentencing of former Governor Bob McDonnell here in the Commonwealth of Virginia this morning. I did a little soapbox on the Virginia way. We're going to move on to some other issues. We talked about Election Day here in Virginia, having another election next Tuesday the 13th. So we'll talk about those and split those up just a little later here on the Jack Gravely Show. How long do you think the low gas prices are going to last? You have to know that in the world of gasoline, that what goes down is going to definitely come back up. How long? How long do you think it would last? And what benefits, if any, has the gas prices been to you? We can talk about that. I have a few bits and pieces this morning. One of the bits and pieces was in Florida. Hold on, let me take this call before I get to that. CC, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Yeah, hi, Jack. This
Hi.
is Cece.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's a couple questions I got to ask you, because I'm not all that familiar with all the ins and outs of the McDonald trial. But I wanted to know the connection with the mayor of Virginia Beach. And I think he's in some sort of trouble or something like that, and if you could explain that.
Now, okay, go on.
Yeah. And also, I tried your email that you gave me, and it didn't go through. And
Okay.
also, the channel that you said down in Norfolk, you weren't on. So I don't know what's going on.
Oh, the 10:11 a.m. WKQA is not coming on down there?
No.
Okay, hold on.
The church lady is on. You know, they praising the Lord and stuff. Nothing wrong with that, but, you know.
Okay. All right. Let me deal with this first. The mayor of Virginia Beach case, to my knowledge, is not connected to the Bob McDonald case. The case in Virginia Beach involves the mayor. He's on the board of Virginia Beach City Council, but he also is a president or an officer in a bank. And what the charges seem to be related to is that he voted on projects as a member of the city of Virginia Beach city board that benefited people who got loans from his bank. And they thought it was a conflict of interest or unfair business practices on his part. He would vote to approve a project by the city, and people who were involved in the project that he voted to approve then would come to his bank and borrow money to do the project. So he had information from the city and the public sphere, but he also was the banker or the loaner or the banker or his bank provided him loans, and some people thought that was unfair and they didn't know about it. He should have recused himself from voting on those issues where he knew or should have known that once we get this project, we'll come into your bank to get the money and you're going to loan us money.
Oh, I see.
That's Virginia Beach. Now, as far as email, you talk about sending an email to me. My email address is Jack Gravely Show. All of that is one word, Jack Gravely Show @yahoo.com. And by the way, CC, you're the second person of this morning that has told me that they had some problems getting an email to me. You're the second person today that have told me that. But my email address is jackgraveleyshow @yahoo.com.
Yeah, I think you need to check it out.
Okay, we'll do. Now, as far as the radio station in Norfolk, I have had people down Virginia Beach to call me to say they listen to it, that is on. I will check into that. By being on the air, I just simply don't know if people don't tell me, but I will check into it, okay?
Okay, one more question.
Okay.
Yeah, you said that you're going to do I guess you were invited to a church on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Yes. And now, is that on his birthday or is that on a Sunday?
It's the 19th, Monday the 19th, and let me pull it up on my keyboard because I got 4 or 5 speeches, and I want to get the right time and the right date. And in fact, I'm negotiating with several other people for speeches right now. But let me get it, and CC, I will announce it on the show before I'm done today, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year to everybody.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jack Gravely Show got about a minute and a half before we get out of here and go up to news at 10 o'clock this morning on the Jack Gravely Show. Yes, on the 19th of January, which is a couple weeks from now, it's First Baptist Church down in Petersburg, Virginia. They're having a Martin Luther King program. I'm supposed to be the speaker on that program. I'm supposed to be speaking at Broad Rock Baptist Church on the February the 7th. I'm speaking to the St. Paul Alumni Association at their fair, and I'm speaking at someplace else. Right now, with all this stuff I got before the show, I don't want to give out dates without having them before me at times and places because I usually get them wrong. Hey, look, got to get out of here to go to news, but I will give them to you before I leave the show today. We got to get out of here, go to news.
Show.
Hey, it's Guy Fieri, and before the game, it's all about the tailgating. Burgers, sausage and peppers, onions, hot wings, you name it. But come game time, if you got yourself a whole bunch of heartburn, roll out the Rolaids.
Don't let heartburn keep you from enjoying the things you love. Rolaids gets you back in the action fast. Its dual-active formula neutralizes more acid than Tums. For indigestion and heartburn, get rapid relief with Rolaids.
R-O-L-A-I-D-S? Now that's how you spell relief.
Use as directed. Acid neutralization may not correlate with symptom relief.
Does your business thrive by serving other businesses? Would you like a healthy, steady flow of B2B leads that are customized to grow sales? Hoovers has developed a best-in-class lead generation tool that makes it easy for you to find targeted leads for your business. You'll be amazed at how easy it is to get the right leads fast. Try it today for free. Get 50 free leads and a 24-hour trial. Just call 800-601-7780. 800-601-7780. 800-601-7780.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I am your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
As you spend your Saturday on the things that matter to you, take us along for the ride. It's Lifestyle Talk Radio on News Talk 990, WLEE Richmond.
CBS News, I'm Frank Sedapani. It's the day after a big blowout on Wall Street, and the stock market is showing some modest gains. The Dow Industrial Average, which fell more than 300 points yesterday, is up 33 points in early trading. The engine that dragged the market down yesterday was the ongoing slump in oil prices. Weak demand for oil is a troubling byproduct of slower economic activity around the world. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger tells us there's no telling how low oil can go.
This morning, oil is again under pressure, and there really doesn't appear to be a natural bottom.
Right now, oil is about 2.5% lower, trading at under $49 a barrel, the lowest it's been in 6 years. To Washington, where the new Congress goes back to work 2 hours from now. CBS's Mark Albert tells us what to look for.
This new Republican-controlled Congress could have clashes with President Obama, but also areas of potential compromise, for example, on trade agreements, tax reform, and jobs bills. But some of the ideas that the Republicans want to take up immediately, like the Keystone XL pipeline, some job creation bills, some repealing or reforming the Affordable Care Act, and border security, could come in for some quick opposition from the White House.
Overseas, coalition warplanes have been busy in the skies over Syria and Iraq. CBS's Cammie McCormick has that.
10 airstrikes targeted ISIS positions in Syria. In Iraq, there were 2 airstrikes yesterday and today. One, according to the military, destroyed an ISIS tactical unit and ISIS vehicles near Al-Assad Air Base. This is the base where more than 300 U.S. troops are currently located, many of them Marines. The Pentagon says the base has been taking regular mortar fire from ISIS, though they failed to hit anything consequential, according to a Pentagon spokesman.
The headings are one weapon ISIS has used in its reign of terror. Now a Syrian opposition group says a top ISIS police official has been found with his head cut off. On the Weather Watch, sub-zero cold will be a fact of life across the upper Midwest for the rest of this week.
It's fun to play in the snow, but when it's this cold, you can't even walk outside without your eyes freezing.
It's below freezing across the east and in parts of the south. Tomorrow could be the coldest day this week. CBS's Dean Reynolds tells us what Chicago firefighters are doing so they'll be able to handle any emergency.
They're de-icing fire hydrants around town to make sure they are operational in case there's a fire.
40 miles southeast of Columbus, Ohio, a toddler was one of 4 people killed by an overnight fire in a trailer home. The cause of that fire is under investigation. The latest marvels of imagination and technology are on display at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. CBS News technology analyst Larry Magid tells us one could make wash day less of a hassle.
There are going to be a lot of connected home appliances at the show, including a washing machine from LG that allows you to wash 2 loads at once, a big one and a little one, and uses Wi-Fi to alert you when your clothes are clean, even if you're nowhere near the machine.
Back on Wall Street, the stock market is giving up some of its early gains. Right now, the Dow Industrials are up just 10 points. This is CBS News.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventors information, call 1-800-358-7816. That's 1-800-358-7816. Again, 1-800-358-7816.
Here's a look at area headlines on WLEE News Talk 990. Former NFL quarterback Steve Berline is now a player in the sentencing for former Governor Bob McDonnell and former First Lady Maureen McDonnell. Berline yesterday confirmed that Bob McDonnell's sister was his college girlfriend. The former governor's sister told U.S. District Judge James R. Spencer that the former First Lady once asked Berline for money about 25 years ago. Richmond City Council now has its first black woman to serve as president. Michelle R. Mosby was elected to the post last night in a unanimous vote of the council. Mosby is a hair salon owner and represents the 9th District. Councilman Chris A. Hilbert has been elected vice president. The Richmond School Board is kicking off the new year with the same leadership. The board yesterday re-elected Donald Coleman as its chairman, and Kristen N. Larson will return as vice chairwoman. Both were re-elected unanimously. With your latest newscast, I'm Billy Flynn on WLEE News Talk 990.
Now, the weather forecast from News Talk 990.
Today, partly cloudy, high of 47. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 28. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high of 31. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 10. Thursday, clear skies, high of 28. Thursday night, clear skies, low of 20. Friday, partly cloudy, high of 43. Friday night, partly cloudy, low of 19. Saturday, clear skies, high of 38. That's your latest weather forecast from WLEE News Talk 990.
Woohoo! All right.
What is it?
I got into state.
Yes. What's the other letter?
Oh, no.
If you're a young man and fail to register with Selective Service within 30 days of your 18th birthday, you will not be eligible for financial aid.
No.
To register, visit sss.gov on your computer or smartphone. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
You are now entering the world of Jack Gravely, a talk show you can participate in, believe in, and a host you can disagree with. So sit back and listen to the edgy, entertaining, and educational Grand Central Station of talk radio in beautiful downtown Richmond, Virginia. The Jack Gravely Show begins right now.
Hey, thank you so very much for staying with me or joining me here on the Jack Gravely Show. I'd like to go back to a call that we received about my show being on down at the radio station WKQA, 1110 a.m. My show does not come on that station the same time it comes on in Richmond. It comes on the station in Norfolk, Virginia at 11 o'clock, from 11 to 12 every day, not from 9 to 12, but 11 to 12, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays until we can get more time on the station. Then we will open it up and come on for the 9 to 12 hours. So for those who call in and say that you can't hear the show, if you're checking it in at the same time my show comes on in Richmond, you won't hear it because we're not on down there. We just checked it out. My producer, Ryan, just provided me with some information. But we have received calls from the Virginia Beach and that area down there, not on air, to let them know what they appreciate the show and that we are on the station down there. But we thank you for your call and concern anyway, no doubt about it. Let's go to line one. Let's go to Paul. Paul, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, Paul.
Today is January 6, 2015. 10 years ago on this date, in 2005, Bob McDonald and Craig Dees were both pondering the possibility of running for the Attorney General's job. I wonder, in hindsight, if either or both of them regret doing that.
I don't think so. I really don't. You know, they're politicians. That's what they do. And, neither of them would expect or knew that this would be the position that Governor Bob McDonald was in. I think they would do exactly the same thing, and I don't blame them. That's what politicians do.
Now, then, in light of what happened to Craig Dees' son as well in the mix as well, because he suffered some tragedy in his life in the last 10 years as well.
Yes, he has.
And so it's just interesting to wonder what they were thinking then if they had known, if they would have run. The thing is, I think the best thing that would happen is for Governor Bob to get. He was a nice governor. I'm not going to demean him. He was a very good governor in his office, but he committed a crime. He needs to do the time, much like Joe Morrissey has committed a crime, and he needs to just go away. And so I cannot criticize Governor Bob McDonald and let Joe Morrissey skate. It's just something that's just in there, and I don't know who's supporting Morrissey, but if you're out here in the streets criticizing Bob for being a crook or a criminal, you can't vote for Joe Morrissey next Tuesday, which is a week from today. And so that's it. I'm just letting them let the chips fall where they may, but I feel sorry for Bob. I think the real problem is going to be his wife. I think long-term, his wife's going to be a bigger mess than they realize. I really am convinced.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Paul. Appreciate
okay, bye, Jack.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Jack Gravely Show, the drama in politics is right here in Virginia. We don't have to look to New York. We don't have to look to Chicago. And, 3 or 4 of the last governors of Illinois have ended up in prison. So it's not that some states don't send their governor to prison. It's just that it hasn't happened ever here in the Commonwealth of Virginia to a former governor for acts or actions that he took while in office. We will see what would happen. Let's go to these gasoline prices. How long do you think those gasoline prices will stay there? Just talk about that. We can talk about that a little bit. But I also want to give you a couple of bits and pieces that I have here this morning. A couple called the police department in Florida and asked for the police to come to a building and get them out of a closet that they had been locked in for 2 days. The concept being that they entered a closet, closed the door behind them, and the door locked from the outside with no way of getting out. Police responded to the call, went to the site. It was in a bank building. The police opened the door, got the two individuals out of, and two things they discovered. First and foremost, the closet was unlocked for the 2 days they claimed that it was locked. It did not have an inside lock on it. It did not have an outside lock on it, rather. That's number one. And number two, they discovered that the husband and wife are the couple, as the news article says, from Kissimmee, Florida. They were crackheads. They were on a crack high, went into a bank, found this closet to do some more crack, stayed in it for 2 days, and thought they were locked in the closet. Now you go figure. That's one bits and pieces. Let me tell you the other bits and pieces. This is, I don't know where this is from because the article I do not have in front of me right now. A church was going to fire their caretaker or their sexton. You know, the person who takes care of a church and clean up and all that stuff. Don't call them janitors. They don't call them maintenance. They call them a sexton. So this gentleman, who was the caretaker at the church, was to be fired. He went into the office to discuss his firing or to receive the information that he was going to be fired. After the pastor told him he was fired, the man pulled a gun and shot at the pastor and missed. What did the pastor do? He did not fall on his knees and pray. He did not call on the Lord. He reached his hand in his pocket, pulled out his gun, and fired back, hitting the assailant. Man, I read that. I jumped. Pastor was packing a pistol himself. And this is a good ad for the NRA to show you that when you carry your gun and somebody shoots at you and miss, you can shoot back and hit. But true story. I'm telling you, true story. Oh, man, when I read that one, you know, I thought the crackheads locked in this closet in Florida topped it. But when I read about this pastor firing back at the sexton or the janitor at his church because they fired him, whoa. I said, man, you never know out there in the world that we live in today. Those are two of my bits and pieces. Moving on to another issue. The Selma, the movie Selma. You know, that was the big march Martin Luther King had in Selma, Alabama. The movie is coming out, I think it's coming out this week, 8th or 9th. And there is a controversy, and many people say they got it wrong. And in the movie, they make President Lyndon Baines Johnson at that time the antagonist, that he was not in favor of the march. And some people are saying that's not true. Califano, who worked for President Johnson. And others are saying that President Johnson was in favor of the march. He was supportive of the march, that he was on the side of Martin Luther King and the blacks that marched and whites that marched in Selma. And even Andrew Young, who was a lieutenant and in the march, says that he didn't actually say it was wrong. He sort of said he wished that it would have been handled differently, or words to that effect, which indicates to me Andy Young is also saying that the movie director got it wrong. Hold on. With the movie Selma, some people are saying there is an orchestrated attack to go after what they consider a strong movie for the Oscar, for the best movie of the year. And this happens to a lot of movies, especially movies that are about real world happenings recently that some people can remember. I can remember Selma. Don't know. I want to see the movie. I plan to see the movie as soon as it comes out, and maybe we will discuss it again here on the Jack Gravely Show. Hopefully some of you can go see it. No, I don't intend to go to the movie with a gang of people and all like that. I like to be alone in the dark, look at it, and I don't like conversations. I don't like people bothering me, tapping me on the shoulder, kids, grandkids. When I go to a movie, I like to be undisturbed whatsoever. I don't like a lot of conversation. I don't. It takes me off of my track, of thinking track, and watching every little small piece that I can in the movie and absorb it. And a movie like Selma, usually you have to look, I have to look at a movie like that a couple of times, because I will tell you, you look at the movie, you see it, blah, 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 you always miss something. Go back the second time, and you will say to yourself, oh, I didn't remember that. I didn't see that. So movie is coming out. Now, 788-0990, 788-0990, break time. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
I wanna go outside, but everyone knows that a man ain't supposed to cry. Listen, I gotta cry, 'cause crying eases the pain, oh yeah.
Jack's just getting warmed up. Come on back after the break on WLEE News Talk 990.
I'm in the car next to you on the highway, heading to work. I sit in front of you on the bus. I work in the office down the hall and stand next to you in the elevator. We've known each other for years, and I've told you a lot about my life. But of all the things you know about me, here's one you don't. I'm one out of every 6 Americans, and I'm struggling with hunger. This isn't an incurable disease. It's not an uncontrollable epidemic. There's enough food in this country to feed every hungry person. This problem is closer than you think. Fortunately, so is the solution. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 7 meals for those around you, quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The traditional light bulb, a groundbreaking invention in 1879. Other groundbreaking ideas from that time, the whalebone corset, the pedal-operated submarine, and the 2-story outhouse. We've come a long way since then. It's time our light bulbs did the same. Visit EnergySavers.gov and learn about energy-saving light bulbs. See, these new bulbs are more efficient than the old ones, like a text message is more efficient than a carrier pigeon. They last longer, too, like how we humans last longer now that doctors use antibiotics instead of leeches. And they cut down on our energy costs, because in our own groundbreaking age of aeroplanes and moving pictures, we deserve a light bulb that saves us some cash. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
They just told us right away that we're going to house you, we're going to feed you, and every single one of his medical bills is just all taken care of.
They've saved my family from financial ruin. It allowed me and my wife both to focus on the most important thing, which was the health and well-being of our son.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes. And that's what makes St. Jude so magical.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything's being taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti. Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
My grades were bad. I would get D's and C's.
I appeared to be doing good at my school life, but if you would see me at home, it would have been a completely different story.
I mean, it was just rough focusing on school when your mother is somebody you have to take care of. It got worse and worse and worse throughout the years.
There are students who need somebody.
They can trust someone, and it could be the first person they've ever trusted in their life,
Communities in Schools is lowering America's dropout rate by helping more than 1.3 million kids every year get whatever they need to succeed in school.
If something was going on at home, we would go just stop by Miss Liberty's office and talk to her.
Communities in Schools vouched for me when everyone else had lost hope.
You can help change the picture of education right here in your community and across the nation. Visit communitiesinschools.org.
I hear people say we can't save every kid, but I think that we can.
Listen to Jack Gravely online. Just click the Listen Live link on WLEE990.am.
Thank you very much for staying with me on the Jack Gravely Show. David, are you there?
I am. Morning, Jack.
Good morning, David. How are things in Happy New Year. How are things in San Francisco, man?
Well, pretty good. Looks like we're going to get that daylight. Seems to be just breaking over the mountain there in the East Bay.
Still raining wet out in that area?
No, it's drying up. And as a matter of fact, they're saying we're not due for any more for a little while, so this drought may continue. So, we're pray for rain, so to speak. Yeah, we got to get some more up in the mountains.
Okay.
Hey, I heard you talking about gasoline prices.
Yes.
I was gonna raise an issue that the oil and gas boys don't want to hear. You remember how ISIS captured a whole bunch of oil fields?
Yes.
And about a month or two ago, after they captured them, the big oil companies were swearing that they were not going to buy this gasoline or not buy oil from ISIS. Well, that's impossible. Somebody's doing it, and to me, that's why gas is down to 50 cents, $50 a barrel.
Well, who do you think is doing it? If you're saying someone is doing it, who do you think is buying? You think American companies or European countries are buying oil from ISIS-controlled oil fields?
Yeah, absolutely. And
who's doing it then? You make a charge like that, you got to bring big evidence, man.
Yeah, I mean, there are always brokers that'll do this. And as a matter of fact, when we invaded Iraq back in 2003, wasn't it? There was a weatherman, an old guy who was given access to the old satellite feeds, and he was able to look at satellite feeds of a brand new pipeline that went from the southern fields of Iraq down to Kuwait, and that they built it virtually at the time that we were invading. They were already building this oil pipeline.
But David, you made a real strong statement. You have any evidence, any information, any data, any stories on who may very well be buying oil from ISIS? Do you have? I got to push you on that issue, David.
No, I understand, and for good reason. I mean, look at the explanations that the oil companies are given for why gas prices are so low. They can't explain it. So
wait a minute. Yes, they have explained it, David. From what I've read, David, they have said that number one, production is up not only in Saudi Arabia and the other oil fields in Iraq and Iran, but also in the United States of America. That there's more oil being produced, more gas being produced than is needed on the world market. There was a ready supply already out there, and those are some of the reasons. Now, whether it's true or not, I'm just telling you what they're saying.
Right. Yeah. Well, to me, it's a sack of hokum, because there's a second thing that's going on with ISIS right now, and I've told you before that ISIS was a creation of the Saudi Arabians for this natural gas pipeline. Well, about just a few days ago, Dick Cheney was given oil rights in the Golan Heights. Now, if you remember the 1967 war with Palestine versus Israel, the Golan Heights was captured from Palestine, and the United Nations Declaration 242 said that Israel had to give back the Golan Heights. Well, just a couple of weeks ago, Golan Heights oil rights were given to Dick Cheney by the Israelis. So they're selling.
And why do you think they did that?
Well, it's corruption. It's stealing mineral rights. I mean, this is as old as it comes. Stealing mineral rights, and so Israel has no right to sell somebody else's property, right? And especially the mineral rights. So Dick Cheney now has the mineral rights for fracking as well as oil on the Golan Heights. And the other day, ISIS seemed to be invading the Golan Heights. Now, if Dick Cheney and the Saudi Arabians were the creators of ISIS, is ISIS really trying to chase people off their land so Dick Cheney can steal more mineral rights?
Well, let me say this in the end of the conversation because I got to go. If ISIS step a foot on the Golan Heights and confront Israel, they are history.
Well, and that's the whole point.
They are history.
That's the whole point. That Dick Cheney, you remember Watergate?
Yeah, I remember that. David, I got to go, man. I got to go. Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Let's go to Mohammed. Mohammed, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Good morning, Master Sergeant.
Good morning.
I got my 3 points. Run down quick. Number 1, the governor, ex-governor, 24 months is all he needs.
How many?
24.
24. All right. Number 2.
His wife needs to work on the back of the pickup truck. All right, number 2. The Detroit Lions, they were raped without any Vaseline. Number 3. Preston Bush, Henry Ford, they supplied Nazi Germany. I want you to tell you, on Friday, I want you to tell you, listen about that. Preston Bush, George Bush, our granddaddy, and Henry Ford, they financed Adolf Hitler. I want you to tell him. Come on, Greg. I'm finished.
May I speak?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why do you come down for 24 months for the governor?
Well,
that's only 2 years.
He didn't kill nobody. He was a good man, but he needed to go in there and find out what the poor people live like. And then, when he gets there, he can teach some of them boys how to read and write. Because a lot of them don't know how to do it.
So if you steal the good name of the state, the shield, the motto, the history of a state, and you do it for money, and you take value for stealing it, and your wife take value, and other members of your family take value of it, go on to jail for 24 months.
Yeah.
And everything's all right, okay?
24 months, that's all he needs.
All right, now Detroit, remember, Brother Mohammed, I run a family show. I run a family show.
Yes, sir.
And you don't have to get graphic with what happens in the rape of the Detroit Lions. Now, I would agree with you. The Detroit Lions had 3 or 4 bad calls on one play called against them. And I certainly think that the officials that officiated the game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions on Sunday need to be fired. It was clearly pass interference. It was clearly...
It was rape.
Pass interference. And it should have been called. Not only that, even if you don't call the pass interference, Dez Bryant walks on the field without a helmet and confronts an official, which is unsportsmanlike conduct. They didn't even call that. Yes.
You remember when Muhammad Ali was fighting Angelo Dundee? The Italian told him, said, a lot of people don't like you, man. So you got to hit them and knock them out to the point where they can't cheat you. Or they can't stand up. You remember that?
So what does that have to do with the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys?
A lot of people don't like Detroit, so they got to hit them hard.
Well, a lot of people don't like Dallas Cowboys.
Well, a lot of what?
Huh? A lot of people don't like the Dallas Cowboys.
They say Dallas Cowboys are American team, but everybody don't feel that way. But do like Angelo Dundee told Muhammad Ali, hit him so hard to the point where they can't stand up, they can't cheat you out your points.
All right, Mohammed.
I love you.
We'll see you. Jack Gravely Show, break time.
If you want more of Jack, stick around. He'll be right back on WLEE News Talk 990.
At any given moment, somewhere in America, a baby is taking a first step, a developmental milestone. But for too many parents, a baby's first steps aren't just a milestone. they're a miracle. These are the parents of babies who were born prematurely or with birth defects. It's a crisis affecting more than 500,000 babies in the United States each year. You can help them by joining volunteers like you who walk in March for Babies. The money you raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and together, our steps make stronger, healthier babies a reality for thousands of families. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org to take the steps that help make milestones and even miracles possible. Who will you march for?
Maybe it's time to take a fresh look at everything we thought we knew about landing a great job. For instance, what if phenomenal careers start at the middle school science fair instead of at the job fair? If being the captain of the robotics team means just as much on a college application as being captain of the football team. And if knowing the quadratic formula is every bit as important as knowing the right people. Well, the fact is, the jobs of the future will be heavily geared towards science, technology, engineering, and math. In other words, the future is STEM. More opportunities, better pay. And the road to these great jobs starts as early as middle school. So if you're a student, talk to your school counselor about STEM. If you're a parent, talk to your kids. Because the job you'll get in the future may very well depend on what you do today. A public service message from America's Navy.
Now, back to the Jack Gravely Show on WLEE News Talk 990.
Thank you very much for staying with me on the Jack Gravely Show, coming to you from WLEE News Talk 990 in Richmond, Virginia. Hey, we were talking about Selma a little bit, and we were talking a little bit about the governor receiving 24 months. You know, that someone made that suggestion. I have no idea. I don't know if anyone has heard anything. Has anything come up on the wire yet, Ryan, about what's going on?
No, but I'm keeping my eye out for it.
Okay, Ryan, my producer, is keeping an eye out for it. And nothing may happen before we get off of the air, because there's going to be, I would assume, a lengthy proceeding in the courtroom down at the federal court building downtown on Broad Street. And for those of you, someone asked me a question. All court hearings like this you have today, they're open to the public. If a trial is taking place in a courtroom, whether it's federal, state, it's open to the public. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. Basically, you have to have an ID. Two things I would warn you of: do not take a cell phone in the building with you. Even if you cut it off, they're going to tell you to take it back out. Don't take a cell phone with you, and don't take any objects into a federal court building or state court building that you would not take on an airplane. But they're open to the public. I was surprised that someone asked me, could I go to a hearing or a trial of the governor down at the court building? Yes. The only thing that will prevent you from getting in is all the seats are taken, but you can go. It's open to the public, free of charge. Federal court building right across from the Marriott in downtown Richmond. I think it's at 5th and Broad Street. It's open. 7th and Broad. It's open to the public, so you can go. Remember that. Now, we also were talking about the movie Selma. Now, you've heard me say, hold on just 1 minute. Let's go to Stan. Stan, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Hello.
Hey, Stan.
How you doing, Jack?
Fine.
Have you guys been talking about the Dallas and Detroit game?
Yeah, somebody called in and said something about it.
Okay, I just want to put my little 2 cents in, because I'm not a fan of the Cowboys. I'm not one of them haters. You know, I'm one of those people who like the players, but I just ain't never liked the organization. But I just want to let them Dallas Cowboy fans know, keep your heads up until Sunday. Monday morning, we won't.
And what's going to happen on Sunday?
And they're going out there with 9 degrees Sunday evening, Sunday around 1 o'clock, 9 degrees, playing at the Ice Bowl. And I'm very much aware that they got the best record on the road, but Green Bay got the best record at home.
Well, you know, now let me be honest with you, Stan. You sound like one of those closet haters.
No,
let me tell you, Stan. No, Stan. saying you come out and you say, well, you know, I don't hate them and all idea America see, but let me tell you, when they go to Green Bay this weekend, they're gonna get stomped on the ice up there, like they did back in the day at the Ice Bowl.
Yes, look, we will never know whether the outcome of them calls made on
Sunday.
Yeah, we never would have known whether that would have made a difference in the game. But we all know. I mean, Stephen Wonder could see that was a pass interference. But at the same time, they ain't gonna have that kind of slack in Green Bay. It's gonna be a big difference. And I want all of them with their hands up now. Go with their hands up Monday. It's going to be a whole different ball. Okay.
All right, Stan. All right, man. All right, we'll see you. Let's go to Larry. Larry, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Mr. Gravely, I have a question for you. I was in a college course this last semester, and this question came up. When you look at the Selma incident, as well as the other incidents down south where the innocent protesters were brutalized, did you ever have any members of a police force or security force, or even one or two that may have lost their jobs, who just said, look, I'm not going to beat up or hurt innocent protesters who are unarmed and not hurting anything? Did you have any, I guess you want to say, acts of disobedience on the other side that they wouldn't brutalize innocent people?
I don't know. Very difficult question. I really don't know. That's a difficult question to answer, because the person that takes the action and quits for that reason, how would you know unless they come out and tell you, or unless you do a research on it? I mean, you know, I don't know. I can't answer that question.
I just wondered if after the situations, if you had 2 or 3 guys that you didn't see doing anything wind up getting fired, or, years.
Never heard anything like that. Never heard anything. And I'm not saying it may not have happened. Never heard, no research, no story, no tale, no officer 80 after 40 years. I'm telling you what happened to me. Never heard anything like that. And I'm not saying that it possibly could not have happened, because it could have happened. I'm just simply saying I have not heard of any research, any article, any information like that. And it could have happened, but I can't answer that other than the fact that I've never seen or read anything. You know, I read about the undercover Klan. I read about relationship between the Klan and the police department. I read about some of the drinking. I read about some of the whatever. I never read about police officers walking away because they didn't like what was going on down there, but it may have happened.
Exactly. You hear about it, during wartime, and are given an order to do something, and someone say, well, I'm not going to do it, I'm walking off, and they either AWOL or they wind up in the stockade. So I just wondered if you had ever heard of any incidents like that.
No, I have not.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jack Gravely Show coming to you from WLEE News Talk 990. Obviously, a lot of people have something to say about the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions, a game on Sunday, and the call that took place. And for those of you out there that don't know, I think it was in the fourth quarter, less than 5 minutes left in the game. Detroit Lions were driving. The Detroit Lions quarterback Stafford threw a pass. I forget who he threw the pass to, but there was a flag thrown for pass interference. The officials congregated on the field, picked the flag up, and instead of Detroit getting a first down, they had fourth down. They had to punt the ball, give it over to Dallas. Dallas goes on, run a touchdown, and wins the game. If you look at almost every sports page and every sports show, I'm looking at page 5C in the USA Today newspaper today, and they're still talking about the call in Dallas, that it was a house call, that it was a home call, that it was a call that was biased and in favor of the Dallas Cowboys. And that I understand that a lot of people who may have been on the sideline for the Dallas Cowboys, neutral, are now going to be batting and pushing against them at Green Bay on Sunday. It was clearly pass interference. It was clearly unsportsmanlike conduct with Dez Bryant walking on the field. Not only that, at the very beginning of the play that everyone is talking about, at the very beginning of it, the Dallas Cowboy defensive back was holding the Detroit Lion receiver. You can see on the tape him holding the jersey, and the officials didn't call that. That was the Dez Bryant, the holding call, the pass interference, and possibly face guarding. You cannot get into the face of a opposing player and distract or put your hands up to keep him or her from receiving the ball or making a play like that. So there were possibly 4 infractions on that one play that Dallas should have been called for, and they didn't call a one. Yes, it was a house call. Yes, they cheated for Dallas. Yes, Dallas came back and won the game, end of story, but people are talking about it. And in the Washington Post this morning, on page D1, conspiracy theories, they're talking about people like actor Samuel L. Jackson. He said, can anybody other than a Dallas Cowboys fan explain the call? There are people from the movie industry, legal industry, NFL, and the National Football League has made a comment about it. That play will be talked about for years. Dallas got away with murder in Dallas on that day with that play. That is my position. 788-0990, 788-0990. My toll-free number is 877-953-3990. You can call in. You can argue. You can state what you think the situation is. You can state how you think it was or what went wrong and all. And don't come with me and say the play doesn't make a difference. You can't say that. You only can say that in a dream or in a fantasy, because you don't know what Detroit would have done if they had that first and 10 instead of 4th and a punt. I think Detroit would have at least scored, and they would have scored and put the pressure on Dallas. No doubt in my mind. So Dallas got away with murder in Dallas on Sunday. That is my position. Obvious calls, bad refereeing, bad calls, bad officiating that cost players who worked all summer and all fall long. And I mean, just like Dallas. This whole thing is Dallas is America's team. Well, I live in America. They're not my team. Yeah. And if you can call me a hater if you want to. Don't care. Don't like them. Never liked them. I remember in high school, I didn't like them. Didn't like them at any time. Don't care who the player was. Don't care who the quarterback was. I never liked Dallas Cowboys. Never liked them. And when they label them as America's team, not that I lose sleep over it, not that I foam at the mouth or anything like that. Wait a minute. Who anointed them as America's team? If in pro sports, if there is one American team, it's Pittsburgh Steelers. They won more Super Bowls than anyone else. That's grit and glory, and won it fair and square. Nobody gave them anything out of the Steelers, and they beat everybody. Jack Gravely Show, 788-0990, talking about some of the issues here. I want to come back and talk about a new book about comedian Richard Pryor is out there. Man, they say, let me take this call and then we'll go to break. Let's go to Jim down in Chesterfield.
You're hot, man.
Yeah.
How come you haven't called Joe the barber?
I talked to him Sunday after the game.
Come on,
hold on.
Jack.
He's not coming. He's not coming back to work until the 7th. He'll be in tomorrow. I'll probably get him on the air. Talk to him about it. Ernest the barber.
You better get the straight skinny now.
Yeah. Dallas got away with murder, Jim. And you sound like you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. No, yes, you do. You're one of those closet Dallas Cowboy fans.
Football game. I'm a closet football player.
Okay.
I watch one game a year, but boy, you need to take a pill.
No, why?
You're all worked up, man. You need to save that. You need to save that for those conservatives.
I will. I got enough fire for them too. I got enough fire for them too. But what they did in Dallas on Sunday is just outrageous, man. It's outrageous.
Well, hey, seriously, let me ask you a question because I don't know. I really don't.
Okay.
I know they can do those replays. Is that College Bowl or Pro Bowl? Pro teams.
Pro team.
You know where they go back and look at the tape
and reverse it. They do that in pro, in the professional league. Yeah.
Why didn't they do that?
They did that, but they said it's still. They kept
really?
They
Okay.
still rule that that the call on the field stands, and the evidence was just absolutely overwhelming against Dallas.
Yeah.
Overwhelming.
I think you need to talk to Joe DeBarber.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
bye.
man. All right, man. We'll see. All right. Let's go to break. We'll be right back.
My life equals you.
Jack will be right back. Call into the show at 788-0990.
Janice, did you hear what the Democratic Party did over the weekend?
No, what?
Instead of letting me decide who I want as my delegate, 100 party officials got together and chose for me. I couldn't even vote. It's just wrong.
I heard about that. Who gave them the right to decide for me?
How dare they? Who are these 100 people anyway?
I don't know, but I'll tell you this. I'm going to make my own decision, and I'm voting for Joe Morrissey on January 13th.
Me too. No one else is going to tell me who to vote for. For 7.5 years, Joe has fought for things I believe in. Voting rights, a living wage, restoration of rights.
And don't forget health care.
That's right. I love Joe. He's not afraid to stand up, speak out, and fight for the people.
Don't let party bosses vote for you on January 13th. Vote for Delegate Joe Morrissey.
This ad was paid for by Friends of Joe Morrissey.
You know, sometimes looking your best will require a little help. That's when Johnson's Beauty Salon at 402 North 2nd Street comes in. Johnson's Beauty Salon, a licensed professional salon, can provide you with the shampoo, hair trims, coloring, weaves, relaxer, flat iron, and all the other hair needs you would want. The shop personnel are all professional and dedicated to providing you the best service in the city. Johnson's Beauty Salon, open from Tuesday through Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. The telephone number is area code 804-649-2572. They're open Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Walk-ins are always welcome. Appointments after 5 p.m. are required on weekdays. Call Johnson's Beauty Salon at 649-2572. Providing a safe, clean, and productive environment for seniors, veterans with mental health needs, and disabled in your family may be a challenge. But the Faith Sharon Home Adult Daycare Facility can help you. It's located at 325 South Hill Carter Parkway in Ashland. The facility provides daily activities for seniors, from exercises to games to outings, movies, and they also provide breakfast and lunch with a great staff, great nurses, located in a great area. The Faith Sharon Home Adult Daycare Center telephone number is 804-307-0707. Call them at 804-307-0707. Faith Sharon Homes will provide daycare activities for seniors, for elderly, disabled, and veterans with mental health needs in a place that is safe and professional.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Now, back to the Jack Gravely Show on WLEE News Talk 990.
Say you want my baby. Girl, if that's a fact,
Thank you very much for staying with me. Every phone is loaded up here. We're going to try to take care of all of them. Andy, on the highway, you on the Jack Gravely Show.
Hey, I don't think Dallas is called it's called America's team because it's America's favorite team. I think it's something similar to the World Series. Do you know why they call it the World Series? It's not because the whole world gets to play.
So why do they call them the America's team?
I don't know, but maybe Ryan can Google it. But the World Series is basically the New York World newspaper used to sponsor the game.
Right.
Well, they're now a defunct paper, but they still call it the World Series. So everybody gets this misconception that they're world champions when it was named after a newspaper. But I'm pretty sure it's America's team because of some backstory. But somebody'd have to check on that.
Okay, not a bad position. But okay, thanks a lot, Andy. Be safe out there, man.
All right, mate.
All right. Let's go to Bruce. Bruce, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Hey, Jack, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Bruce. How you doing, man?
I'm not doing bad at all. I want to pre-qualify what I'm going to say with saying I'm a Dolphin fan, so I got no skin in the NFC East, okay?
Okay.
That being said, first of all, I've never seen a bigger ripoff than what happened this past weekend. We all know that. But let's get past that for a minute.
Okay.
I have as much problem with the Dallas Cowboys as I do with the Dallas Cowboy fans. And let me tell you why, okay? Dallas Cowboy fans, if this call went the other way, first of all, Jack, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find one of them that's ever been to Texas. But that aside, if you look at this thing and reverse it, how much squawking and crying do you think would be going on right now?
By the fans, by Dallas Cowboy fans.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I don't understand. I'm a transplant from South Florida. The entire time I had tickets to Dolphin games, I spent it through Marino's career. That's kind of hard to give up when you move. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm going to be a Miami fan, but who's ever been to Texas, let alone a Cowboy fan? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. You and I both know they'd be crying if it was the other way around. And because I'm a Miami fan and I guess kind of a Dallas hater, I'm just going to leave y'all with two words: Leon Lett.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Bruce. Let's go to Marvin. Marvin and Glen Allen.
Lifelong Dallas Cowboy fan here. I go back to Bob Hayes. He was one of my inspirations coming up. But I can't watch this football. They have ruined. Roger Goodell has ruined a great sport.
Wait a minute. Marvin.
Yeah.
Marvin, big charge, man.
Yeah, that's a big charge. But Jack, come on now. I mean, you saw that play. And then, on top of that, the next play, I mean, when the guy goes for it on 3rd and 1 and throws a pass like that, on 4th down, that means we're going to go for it. And they're on the Dallas Cowboys side of the field. And how in the world do they not go for it and then kick a 1-yard punt? Come on, Jack. What is going on? It's like WWF now.
Come on, Marvin. That's a heavy charge, man. You saying the National Football League is like WWF, the wrestling league, man?
Because they're playing man-to-man all over the field when you know you can't. How in the world do you play man-to-man all over the field on professional football players? And come on, it's ridiculous. I mean, those guys going to get open. I mean, you're going to get open. It's ridiculous. It's not football. That's not football.
All right. You think they gave the play? You think it was a wrong call on Sunday against Detroit Lions?
Yes, and Detroit helped them, too. After kicking a 1-yard punt, a professional football player?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, they helped them. And then they played man-to-man and let them go right down the field. Let Jason Witten, as slow as Jason Witten, I mean, all they had to do was play a zone, like they were playing in the first half. I don't get it.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Marvin. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jack Gravely Show. Some of the people commenting on the football game on Sunday, between Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. Dallas won. We might as well accept it, move on down the road, but we can talk about the play. We can tell you what we dislike about it. We can say that. Dallas got over. Detroit Lions got took. They were had. They were cheated. They were bamboozled down in Dallas. But then you got to take the good with the bad, and let's move on down the road. Dallas is going to Green Bay on Sunday. Let's see what happens up there. We got about 4 minutes before the hour, got about 2 minutes before I get out of here. It's 11 o'clock news break. We're going to certainly keep our eyes and ears open for any decision coming out of the federal court downtown Richmond, Virginia, against Judge Bob McDonald. Understand that newscasts are broadcasting it live, so there's a possibility you would get it before we get it here at the radio station. You're listening to the Jack Gravely Show. We're coming back, and we're going down to WKQA 1110 in Norfolk, Virginia. We're simulcasting this show live, and when we come back, we'll be down there, 788-0990. Stay with us on the Jack Gravely Show.
Looking into mine, seeing what you wanted to see.
Show.
Hey, it's Guy Fieri, and before the game, it's all about the tailgating. Burgers, sausage and peppers, onions, hot wings, you name it. But come game time, if you got yourself a whole bunch of heartburn, roll out the Rolaids.
Don't let heartburn keep you from enjoying the things you love. Rolaids gets you back in the action fast. Its dual-active formula neutralizes more acid than Tums. For indigestion and heartburn, get rapid relief with Rolaids.
R-O-L-A-I-D-S? Now that's how you spell relief.
Use as directed. Acid neutralization may not correlate with symptom relief.
Does your business thrive by serving other businesses? Would you like a healthy, steady flow of B2B leads that are customized to grow sales? Hoovers has developed a best-in-class lead generation tool that makes it easy for you to find targeted leads for your business. You'll be amazed at how easy it is to get the right leads fast. Try it today for free. Get 50 free leads and a 24-hour trial. Just call 800-601-7780. 800-601-7780. 800-601-7780.
Hey, there's my son. You've been in your room all morning.
Hey, Dad.
Matt, what's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Oh, well, it's just sort of.
I have been playing my video games and electronic games for so many hours.
Uh-huh. Well, it sounds like it might be time for you to take a break, or...
Hello, Dad.
Susan?
I have been watching TV and text messaging all morning. Yay, electronics. Yay, yay, yay.
Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and take a little trip. Maybe see some trees, some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
For news from the worlds of home maintenance, travel, vehicles, and investing, stay tuned every Saturday to News Talk 990, WLEE Richmond.
CBS News. I'm Steve Kathan. It's a bone chiller in the upper Midwest. Temperatures are below zero in many places. Some wind chills are around 25 below. Tom Hart's a crossing guard in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where snow is piling up.
Better than rain, right?
rain will soak through to your bones and snow will just land on you.
WBZ meteorologist Danielle Niles says the Arctic blast is invading the east and south.
20 states actually under a wind chill warning, advisory, or watch over the next couple of days. So forecast highs today only in the single digits for portions of the Midwest, teens all the way back through the Great Lakes. And high temperatures tomorrow will be below zero. That is without the wind factored in. It's going to feel like 15 to 30 below zero by the time we get to Wednesday night and Thursday morning.
Shovels and scrapers have been in use this morning in Washington, D.C., where snow has welcomed the new Congress. CBS's Pam Coulter joins us live now from Capitol Hill.
Steve, an hour from now, Republicans will be taking the reins of both the House and Senate for the first time in 8 years. But they're already starting with what some members consider a distraction, a challenge to John Boehner's bid for a third term as House Speaker. Tea Party members are not, though, expected to have the votes to unseat him. The first bill in both houses will be the Keystone XL pipeline, which supporters say will be a jobs producer, but it could set up what might be the first veto challenge for the president. Steve?
Well, Bob McDonnell was once a rising star in the Republican Party.
We think the fair sentence would be community service.
This morning, the former Virginia governor arrived at court in Richmond to learn his sentence. McDonnell's supporters want community service for his corruption conviction last year. Prosecutors were seeking at least 10 years in prison. Wall Street has settled down some after yesterday's sell-off, tied in large part to plunging oil prices. The Dow is down 46 right now. Oil is trading again below $50 a barrel today. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says it's putting a lot of pressure on domestic producers who've been more prolific in recent months.
It's the smaller to medium-sized producers that are likely to cut as the price of oil is under $50 a barrel. Now, they're not going to do it immediately. They want to see where the price is going to settle.
The brave new world of home connectivity is on display at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. CNET's Brian Cooley is there.
Connected technology means whatever's in your house now, from a big old range or stove to a little door lock on your front door, can be connected to the internet, now privately, of course, so you can access it through your phone, or so those devices can talk to each other. One device can say, I know something about what's happening in the house right now. All other devices follow me and behave accordingly.
A private survey finds home prices rose more than 5% in November over the year before. Economists say demand is still weak for houses. The Dow is down 74. This is CBS News.
Do you want to learn how to steal customer credit card information from major retailers so you can buy anything you want?
Well, we can't help you with that. But among the many IT problems we solve, Barracuda's award-winning firewalls prevent hackers from taking your valuable data to the bank. Reclaim your network, like 150,000 other businesses have. To learn more about protecting customer data and your reputation, visit barracuda.com/firewalls.
Your favorite celebs are challenging you to change the world.
I challenge you to shave your head to fundraise for cancer research.
I challenge you to eat a hot pepper to raise awareness for global warming.
Whatever your cause, take a challenge and get it noticed. Download the We365 app for free and change the world one challenge at a time. Each download helps give goats to provide income to families in developing countries.
Get We365. Change the world every day.
Here's a look at area headlines on WLEE News Talk 990.
Today is the day former Governor Bob McDonnell finds out his fate. U.S. District Judge James R. Spencer is expected to sentence McDonnell at 10 o'clock this morning at Richmond's federal courthouse. McDonnell is the first Virginia governor to be convicted of corruption after he and his wife Maureen were found guilty of accepting money in exchange for promoting a product. Maureen McDonnell will be sentenced in February. Police are trying to figure out who killed a man in eastern Henrico County. Multiple gunshots were reported in Henrico last night near the intersection of Green Pasture and Hanover Roads. Police found the man dead there, but they have no motive and no suspects so far. U.S. Representative Dave Bratt is not going to support Speaker of the House John Boehner for another term. The Virginia Republican says Boehner has to go as leader after President Obama's recent action on health care and immigration.
With your latest newscast, I'm Billy Flynn on WLEE News Talk 990.
Now, the weather forecast from News Talk 990.
Today, partly cloudy, high of 47. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 28. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high of 31. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 10. Thursday, clear skies, high of 28. Thursday night, clear skies, low of 20. Friday, partly cloudy, high of 43. Friday night, partly cloudy, low of 19. Saturday, clear skies, high of 38. That's your latest weather forecast from WLEE News Talk 990.
Hey, parents of children with asthma, here's another hit from the Breathe Easies.
Come on and clean up the mold. Whoa. Clean up the mold. Whoa. Mold can trigger asthma in kids young and old. Come on and clean up the mold. Whoa. Clean up the mold in your house. Whoa.
This song may be fun, but childhood asthma is not. Preventing asthma attacks can be as simple as cleaning up the mold and mildew in your house. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org, brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
You are now entering the world of Jack Gravely, a talk show you can participate in, believe in, and a host you can disagree with. So sit back and listen to the edgy, entertaining, and educational Grand Central station of talk radio in beautiful downtown Richmond, Virginia. The Jack Gravely Show begins right now.
Thank you and good morning. We're delighted to have you with us. We're in our last hour. We'd like to thank our friends down at WKQA 1110 Freedom Radio in the Hampton Roads area. Out of Norfolk, Virginia. We're very delighted to have you with us. Our telephone number here, anywhere in the Commonwealth of Virginia, is 877-953-3990. Our toll-free number is 788-09. Our regular number is 788-0990. Let me do that one more time. I think I got a little confused. If you're in the state of Virginia, we have a toll-free number. You can call our radio station or this show from anywhere in Virginia and lands beyond in the United States of America. We just got a call from Atlanta. We just got a call from San Francisco, California. Our toll-free number is 877-953-3990. Let's go to Mike. Mike, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, Mike. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing real well. I'm not going to get onto that Cowboys mess today. I want to talk about some real things, but all them people just need to let it go.
Okay.
The game is over. We got a game Sunday.
Okay.
But I was looking at the tweet from people who are live inside the courtroom, and they're saying that it's getting reduced down to the lines are getting reduced down to 6 to 8 years. So it looks like they might have this done by noon. But I don't think he's going to get that much time, Jack. I think he might get a year to 2 years. I don't think the crime was that severe for him to go to jail that long.
I'm thinking somewhere between 2 to 5 years myself. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I think 5 is too steep. I mean, It wasn't really a criminal conviction, but I just wanted to let you know. I'm following the little Twitter feed, and they're saying that things are moving pretty fast. A lot of witnesses have already testified on his behalf, and that they have reduced the guidelines. They were asking for 10 years, and now they reduced rapidly
to 8.
Right, between 6 and 8, and they said it could get even lower than that. So he said between 2 and 5 years is right, Jack.
I certainly don't believe the governor's going to jail for no 10 years for that, but I certainly think that he's going to jail. I think his wife's going to jail too.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I said, with good behavior, I think he probably will be out within the 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that severe. And also, one thing I want to also ask is about the police officer shot here in Richmond. I think he's an African American, and I haven't seen too much on the news about it. It seems like they just talk over it. But do you feel that just because he's an African American, that they're not talking about it as much as they did those officers? I mean, it seems like
I really don't know. I think the difference in the situation, first and foremost, Mike, I am not up on. There is, hold on, Mike. I have not, and I do not know all of the facts concerning the shooting of the officer here in Richmond. The thing that makes the New York shooting so difficult and so brazen is that the officers were not confronting the suspect. It was an ambush. It was an assassination. And I think that's what makes it a much more talked about in the public. Whereas, I don't know, was the officer here in Richmond, was he chasing somebody or confronted a robber or what? What was the situation?
I think that it was a domestic call, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I read it correctly.
Okay.
And then, the guy had some mental issues, and the police officer was trying to help the situation, and he was just attacked that night. I believe that's the truth. But that's what I've read. But either way, I'm praying for his family, and I hope that he does make a speedy recovery.
Okay. He remains in critical condition.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
All right. Okay.
All right, Jack.
All right. Thanks a
Talk to you
lot,
tomorrow.
Mike. Appreciate it. I have read and I've heard police officers say over and over again, one of the most dangerous situations they have to confront is domestic situations. I mean, you go to a house, and again, men, I'm not trying to beat up on you. I'm not trying to do this. I'm not trying to do that. But you go to a house, and the man is beating the crap out of a woman, and you go in to stop it, and before you know it, the whole house turns on you, and you're there to help the woman who's getting beaten. And it's crazy out there, and I do not for a minute take lightly the jobs that police officers have to do and do in the society. There are more guns out there. And I would think that if you ask just the average, everyday police officer, beat cop, walking the street, riding the cabs, the horses, the motorcycles, and all like that, if you had your wish of 2 or 3 things that you could do as a police officer, I would bet, I'm willing to bet you my next paycheck of $13.29 that they would say, take guns off street, take guns out of hands of citizens, of many people. I bet they're saying do something to control the proliferation and the acquisition of guns by young folk, whether they're in urban areas or suburban areas. The proliferation of guns everywhere. That's what everybody, guns are everywhere. It used to be you go to a house on a domestic call, it wouldn't be a gun. It would be you fighting with the husband or boyfriend or significant other. Now you go to a house, it's a gunfight. Guns. And police is that thin line between you, me, and the statement, barbarians at the gate, which was not about violence and police action. It was really about money and industry and business. Barbarians at the gate. Police, and I know we've had a lot of critical, and I've been critical of police, and I don't back off of it. I think you have a right to question police. I think you have a right to know why they shot. You have a right to know why did you have to use this deadly force. You have a right to know. This officer has had 5 or 6 complaints filed against him, and he is still on the street. Why? You have a right to know that. But at the same time, can you imagine what society would be like if there was no police force? Let's go to David J. David J., you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Jack, man.
Hey, man.
Calling from Mineral, Virginia, man. Mineral, Virginia. Way out here near Culpeper.
I've been to Mineral, Virginia. It's up off of Route 33.
Beautiful country here, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful countryside, man. I'm telling you. Fresh air, farms, people with the orange huts, the hunting season is over now. The country people have guns, but they normally use their guns on deers.
Yeah.
And the other animals. The urban people have guns, and they used to hunt each other and kill each other. Since I've been in this country, I've learned a lot about country life, man. These people hunt here, man. Every weekend, holiday, Thanksgiving Day, man. You see them lined up on the roadside.
Yes.
I'm telling you, they use their guns. Even these young people here, they have their guns, but they use their guns to hunt animals, not human beings. You go to the urban areas, they use their guns to kill each other. That's why when you ask the people in the urban areas, they will tell you, gun control, gun control. You ask the people in the countryside, black people in the countryside, they have guns here, but they don't kill each other. I see them hunting every weekend during their first 2 months, 3 months of hunting season. So there's a big cultural collision between when it comes to, I have changed my perspective on guns since I moved to this country. I mean, in the countryside, I got a gun, I got 2 shotguns that I used to hunt. And I'm for gun control, but I also, I love guns now.
Okay.
So,
you say you love guns now, huh?
I like guns, man. What I realize, it's all about, all my neighbors have guns. All my neighbors. 5, 6. I've gone every neighbor. The people have befriended. They show me their set. These guys have stash of guns, but they don't kill each other. You see them trophies mounted on their walls of deers and everything. So big culture. Now, just quick, because I know you have to go. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, I might lose you because the president have refused to name that president. He has continued to use his executive orders about the Cuba situation, about the immigration situation, and he's ready to put his veto pen against this Keystone Pipeline. He has refused to be called a lambda president, and he's going around the country promoting his agenda during this time.
Okay. All right. I don't think president is going to veto if they pass that a Keystone Pipeline bill. I think president's going to sign it. Got to move. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, got to go. Let's go for Earl. Earl, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
How you doing, Brother Jack?
Hey, man.
All right, Happy New Year.
All right.
I think that you done hit it on the nail in reference to the guns, and everybody's missing, which is you brought up the fact that to me, it's a thing. Most of these folks that shooting folks have some type of mental issue. So they need to readdress the issue because I agree, guns don't kill people, people kill, so we need to look at that. I think that this theme is coming across that a lot of folks that's doing these things, everybody keep coming back with them being mentally, like the sister spoke of the brother that killed the 2 police officers in New Year. She stated that he was in the system and they knew it and so on and so forth. So to me, you linked it together in reference to it's not necessarily controlling the guns, but that particular thing, the 20 kids that was killed, again, a mental situation. So let's look at it from that perspective. And then one other thing, if you allow me, I want to give a shout out to Mayor Dwight Jones for selecting Douglas Dunlap as the acting economic development director because he's homegrown. He's from Richmond. So there's a different perspective in itself right there.
All right. Thanks a lot, Earl. Got to get out of here and go to break on the Jack Gravely Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Well, I'm looking here and there, searching everywhere. I'm looking for love to call my own. Someone to get up in the morning and rub my head. I'm looking for love to call my own. Someone to fix my breakfast and bring it to my bed. I'm looking for love to call.
Stick around. The Jack Gravely Show will be right back on WLEE News Talk 990.
Hey, it's Mike Aubrey, the real estate expert. I spend a lot of time driving through neighborhoods. Guess what I see? Lost, confused homeowners. There's one now, driving in circles.
Hey, pal, need some help?
I'm looking for a better mortgage, but I'm not getting anywhere.
They're searching and searching for refinancing. But even though they are current on their payments, they just can't find a lower rate or better terms because they're underwater on their mortgages.
Talk about getting the runaround!
But there is one place to look if your mortgage is owned by Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac.
Mike, can you get me out of here?
Come on, follow me. I've got the answer.
HARP, HARP. It's a government refinancing program that can save you money. See if you qualify at HARP.gov.
Thanks, Mike. Now we're getting somewhere.
HARP.gov, your best route to a better mortgage.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online for like a year. She couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearms storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Ian Ralston was a combat medic who suffered a catastrophic war injury in Iraq. When I met Ian for the first time, I knew we had to do everything we could to get him every benefit he's earned to live as normal life as possible. And we did. He needed an accessible house. We got that grant, and a van for his wheelchair to get him there. My name is Jason Stevenson, and I work for Paralyzed Veterans of America.
America's most seriously injured veterans are
are getting all the care and benefits they've earned, thanks to Paralyzed Veterans of America. For over 65 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has helped hundreds of thousands of veterans, and their service is free to all veterans and their families. Paralyzed Veterans of America, changing lives, building futures. To learn more, visit pva.org. A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Take an ordinary putty knife and scrape off the old wax ring. Place the new wax ring over the flange, then line up the bolts with the bowl and gently set in place, making sure a proper seal is created with the flange and drain. Next.
Dad?
Yeah, sweetie.
Is that an old plumbing manual?
Oh, yeah, honey.
We really need to get some new books.
Right, do you want me to stop?
Nah, I kinda wanna know how it ends.
Okay. Tighten the bolts, line up the flushing valve to the opening in the top of the bowl, and secure the tank with a screwdriver and crescent wrench.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Now, more with Jack Gravely on WLEE News Talk 990.
Thank you very much for staying with me on the Jack Gravely Show. Let's go to the phones. Let's talk with Paul. Paul, you're on.
Good morning, Jack.
Good morning.
Energy policy seems to be going in two directions at once. We're sort of at a crossroads. We got solar panel prices falling like a rock, and we got gasoline prices falling at the same time. So which horse is going to win the race? And I'm putting my money on solar panels because, solar, it's like putting an oil well on your roof when you install solar panels on your roof. And one mayor out in California just ordered that all new houses built in this one town now be 100% solar powered because he wants to take advantage of the energy mix that's going on. He wants to push his whole town into 100% solar. And I just came back from Germany where I was visiting with farmers out there who were making like $400 a month harvesting solar energy and feeding it onto the grid because Germany passed this law requiring utilities, not the government, utilities to pay 99 cents a kilowatt hour. So the farmers out there are making a killing selling solar onto the grid because it sells for a premium. It's more valuable than oil.
If we really kicked up and got started in the United States with solar in electricity industry, it would definitely boom. And not only that, solar power is beginning, or it is in the future, the next 5 to 10 years, going to present a problem for public utilities and utility companies, electrical companies, because people, as you say, can build these solar farms or solar facilities, and then sell the overage or the unused electrical power to utilities or to the public. It's going to present a power. The future is no doubt in solar power. The future is no doubt, in my opinion.
Yes, and it creates more jobs.
Yeah.
In Germany now, they have 450,000 people working in the solar industry, which is more people than in the auto industry. And when you say that about Germany, Germans look and they go, "What?"
Wow! Wow!
Because they're big on autos.
Okay.
And yeah, it's the way you can do it is if you would buy one solar panel and put it up in your apartment. You can get them in Costco now. You can get this neat solar-powered kit, and you put it up in your apartment window, and it just helps you think about solar until you go to, what's this town in California where all the houses are being sold are 100% solar?
So I read about it. I don't remember, but I heard about it, read about it.
Lancaster, California, you can buy 100% solar-powered houses. In fact, that's the only kind of house you can buy there now.
All right. Thanks a lot, David. I got to move. Paul, thanks a lot. I got to move. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Chris. Chris, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Hey, Jack, how you doing?
Hey, Chris.
Hey, just want to elaborate on what that guy was saying. He's exactly right. I bought a solar panels, about 8 years ago, and I live in Chesterfield.
How many years ago?
It's about 8 years ago.
8 years, okay.
Yeah. and I paid a substantial amount for mine, but now I don't. The entire home that I had was completely the whole house was run on electric, and now my entire home runs on solar energy. So I'm gonna tell you this right now. I paid a substantial amount of money, which most people don't have to pay now. But I'm gonna just say this to you: it's not an accident that we're not moving toward this solar panel and deal. That's purposely being hindered by these oil lobbyist groups on the Hill. So you can draw a line to it. I mean, look, you remember, Jack, back in the 70s when we were waiting in line for gas. I know you remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My mom used to send me down there to stand in line by myself. Okay. Now there was a big push then. Hey, we don't want to get in this situation again. Blah blah blah. Bam! Before we could do anything, oil companies came out. Oh no. Now you remember, Jack, that they used to freak out at the idea that individuals would try to pump their own gas at gas stations and blow themselves up. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We could not allow people to pump their own gas. It would be chaos, right? It's the same thing. But people, the bottom line is people like going to a pump and pumping gas, and any kind of change scares the living hell out of them. But I'm telling you now, if we don't get on this game, we're gonna be in trouble, brother.
And the game is solar power, in your opinion?
Oh, not only solar, but let me correct one thing. Not every replenishable energy source is good for our area. Like windmills for Virginia is not really the way to go because we don't have enough wind velocity everywhere.
Not even off the coast? Not even off the coast?
Yes. Off the coast you do, but not everywhere. But solar power, man, it's a lock. It's a lock.
Okay. How much do you pay for power in your home now?
Nothing.
It's free. Do you have any over electrical power that you sell to the utility?
I sure do. I get a check back.
So you every month? Every month.
Every month.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Chris.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Jack Gravely Show coming to you from WLEE News Talk 990. I'd like to say Happy New Year and welcome to my friends and neighbors and listeners down in the Hampton Roads area at WKQA 1110 Freedom Radio. Thank you for joining us here on the Jack Gravely Show. We're talking about a multiplicity of issues this morning. Election day here in Virginia and next week in this district. We're talking about the governor is down in the federal court downtown Richmond, Virginia as we speak. And arguments are going on. Ryan has an update for me. What's going on, Ryan?
Yeah, I have an update here from Richmond.com, Jack. Judge James R. Spencer, this morning, heard arguments from defense and prosecution lawyers before revising downward what he considers to be the appropriate sentencing guideline for former Governor Bob McDonnell. The judge is not bound by the guidelines and can sentence higher or lower. Spencer said he considered an appropriate guideline to be between 6.5 years and 8 years and 1 month. The guideline recommended by the Federal Probation Office ranged between 10 years and 1 month to 12 years and 7 months.
Okay, so that's what's happening. So right now, what we are seeing and hearing is that the judge in the case is saying to the federal prosecutors, your recommendation of 10 to 12 years is too much. He said he thinks that the recommendation should be somewhere between 6 to 8 years. And then the judge can, in his own wisdom and decision and authority, can cut that later, lower. So we'll see what happens with Governor Bob McDonnell this morning in federal court in downtown Richmond, Virginia. We're talking about that. We've been talking about gas prices. We've been talking about the Virginia Way. We've been talking about the new movie that's coming out about Dr. Martin Luther King in Selma, Alabama. We've been talking about there's 2 or 3 inches of snow on the ground in Washington, D.C. this morning as we speak. And we've just been talking about solar power. And we've been talking about the Dallas and the Detroit Lions game on Sunday and how they stole the game from the Lions down in Dallas, my position. So you can join us, those of you in the Hampton Roads area, WKQA 1110 on the AM dial, 877-953-3990. Taking a break. Be right back.
Jack will be back after a few messages on WLEE News Talk 990.
Welcome back to The Cat Show. Up next, we have Nico. Nico is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right.
a group known especially for their sunspot sleeping, ball chasing, leg rubbing, couch purring, bed leaping, and of course companionship.
Wonderful. And what breed would you say Nico is?
I'd have to go with a tabbyish Persian kind of mix.
Tremendous cat.
I'd also like to point out her coat's wonderful mix of colors. Is it black, gray, gray-black, brown?
Somewhere in between.
Indeed.
You know, it's always special when we get to see a cat like this.
Just look how she struts.
It's like she owns the place.
And how she's so incredibly cute in her indifference to commands.
A strong-willed feline.
Ah, and see how she curls up and cuddles her person.
The pitch on her purring is simply perfect.
Nice one.
I know. Fantastic cat.
Fantastic indeed. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Mr. Detweiler, it's time to wake up, Mr. Detweiler. Hey, Mr. Detweiler, how are we doing? Your surgery is over.
Oh, it's over? What happened?
Hi, Mr. Detweiler. Dr. Newman here. You have a new knee. It went great. You'll be up and around before you know it. And it's all because of you.
What did I do?
You were captain of Team Detweiler. You told us everything we needed to know. Your medical history, your allergies and prescription meds. You asked me tons of questions. What your options to surgery might be, what to expect during recovery. You even asked me how many knee replacements I've already done.
Huh. I guess I did kind of run the whole operation, didn't I?
Mr. Detweiler, we couldn't have done it without you.
Patient safety. It takes a team, and patient involvement is key. A public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons. With more tips at orthoinfo.org/patient safety.
Now, more with Jack Gravely on WLEE News Talk 990.
Thank you very much for staying with me on the Jack Gravely Show. Let's go to Lynn. Lynn in Petersburg, you're on.
Good morning, Jack. How are you?
Fine.
Hey, this morning you touched on something, and one day last week you touched on something but never got back to it. One was about Minister Farrakhan, I think, up in Maryland, and the other one was about the Richard Pryor thing this morning, I think a book or something coming out, and you didn't touch back on it. So I was wondering what could you update us on those two things.
Okay. First and foremost, Minister Farrakhan spoke at Morgan State University approximately 2 weeks ago. I read the article that a friend of mine made available to me, and I went online and followed it up. He made a hell of a speech there at Morgan State. He challenged the students, but more than anything else, he challenged the leadership in the black community. And it was well received. There was about 2,000 people there. The place was packed. Civic and public leaders came to the affair. There was a radio station in Baltimore that attacked him and said some bad, nasty things about him, which I will not get into. But he spoke at Morgan State, and let me tell you, his challenge was that we need to plan for the future, need to teach our children technology and put them 5 or 10 years ahead. You can't teach them for the day. You got to teach them for tomorrow and next week and next year. Excellent speech. That's Farrakhan. Now, the book about Richard Pryor is written by a guy by the name of Scott Saul, S-A-U-L. It's published by Harper, and the title of the book is Becoming Richard Pryor. I just read a couple of reviews that I have with me. I'm going to order the book, and we hopefully will have Mr. Saul to come on the show to talk about it. And Richard Pryor and his life.
CBS did a special on him maybe about a month ago with him and Robin Williams, basically with Night After Night. Well, they were back to back, basically. There was, I think Robin Williams someone was getting honored by the people up in D.C., I think one of the Kennedy Center honors or something like that. And then they did a special on Robin Williams and Richard Pryor back-to-back, and it was really compelling. The Richard Pryor one was.
Well,
really compelling.
He
had a lot of demons. A lot of demons of those demons were from growing up.
Richard Pryor.
And he never let go of those demons. The only way he could let go was basically go into character and tell his comedy and tell his jokes.
Yeah. All right.
And was constantly in pain.
All right, Lynn. Thanks a lot, man.
Man.
Appreciate
Bye-bye.
it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jack Gravely Show coming to you from beautiful downtown Richmond, Virginia. And we're saying hello to our good friends down at WKQA 1110 Freedom Radio in Norfolk, Virginia. My telephone number, toll-free from anywhere in the Commonwealth of Virginia and lands beyond, 877-953-3990. What I would suggest that you do, why don't you click me in and, insert me into your cell phones. So you can just push a button. Jack Gravely Show. So you just push a button, name come up, talk it through. Dial Jack Gravely Show and talk to me. 788-0990, 788-0990. Kudos to the mayor of Richmond, Virginia, and the leadership for the opening the first Richmond new public high school since 1968. The state-of-the-art features the new Huguenot High School that opened yesterday, a $63 million project. Build schools and not jails. So I compliment the mayor and his leadership and others because this happened over a period of years, and a lot of people had their hands in it. It's very, very important that we do that. What else we're talking about? I read a very, very interesting article by a young lady who left Vietnam when she was 9 years old, right after the war. And she wrote an article that said, if you want to see what Cuba is going to look like in 10 years, look at Vietnam or what's going on. Vietnam was an enemy of the United States. The United States fought Vietnam, bombed, killed, destroyed, burned down. And now Vietnam and the United States are partners in trade. In fact, and Vietnam is a communist country. It is a communist country. Even with Cuba now, without the embargo lifted and without full domestic relations, you might be surprised the amount of goods that are sold by American farmers from across the United States to Cuba. And just focusing in on Virginia. Virginia sells a lot of apples to communist Cuba and have been doing it for years. So this thing that some Cuban exiles and some people who are anti-Castro and anti-President Barack Obama saying we should not have any relations with Cuba, we already have relations with Cuba. We already sell our products to Cuba. We already send tons of apples to Cuba. We already send some meats to Cuba. Hold on, let's go to the line. Johnny, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Good morning, Mr. Gravely.
Good morning, Johnny.
What is it? Everybody that gets into a war with this country, at the end of it, it appears they come out better than they were before they went in it.
Yes, you look at Germany, you look at Japan.
Yes, sir.
You're right. You're exactly right. There's been the war with the United States. Look at the economies in the countries. It's because the United States has this great heart. We're going to kill you and bomb you and burn you and destroy your land, and then we're going to come back and build it for you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, good point.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jack Gravely Show, coming to you from WLEE News Talk 990 in Richmond, Virginia. Again, I welcome my friends down at WKQA 1110 Radio on the AM dial. Tune in and give me a call if you want. 788-0990 is my local number. Call here in the Richmond metro area. Sun is trying to peek out there, but it's cold up here, and I assume it's cold down in the Hampton Roads area. My toll-free number for those of you who wish to call and engage in conversation on this show, 877-953-3990. Hold on. Tomorrow, I hope to have a professor from Virginia Commonwealth University. It's Wednesday. Thursday of this week, I'm scheduled to have Ann Holton, the Secretary of Education, on the Jack Gravely Show. Looking forward to having her on the show. And hopefully on Friday we can have Dr. Bob on to talk about what's going on in the McDonald, the elections that's coming up, and things of that nature. Just stay tuned with me here on the Jack Gravely Show. Again, toll free, 877-953-3990. Coming to you from Richmond, all the Richmond metro area, and down in the Norfolk metro area. Just got an email message from Andrew, if you're listening to me. Thank you for that email message. He says, with 990 and 1110 AM radio with the Jack Gravely Show, he said basically when he's traveling eastbound on 64, that's going from Richmond down to Williamsburg, Hampton, or Norfolk and places like that, he said when 990 fuzz out or blanks out, all he does is switch over to 1110 AM WKQA radio, and it takes him where he's going on the 64. I appreciate it, Andrew, and some other folk wrote in and told us about it. Look, we want the people down in the Hampton Roads area to know that whatever you want to talk about, call in. Give us a call and let us know from Chesapeake, from Norfolk, from Newport News, from Accomack, from Cape Charles, from Virginia Beach, from Suffolk. Call in and let us know. Be a part from Norfolk, of course. Let us know that you're listening. And if you have an issue that is concerned that we're not expressing and we're not talking about, let me know. We'll try to do the best we can to get it up there. 877-953-3990. I know you're listening down there. We appreciate it. We'd like to get a call from you every now and then. Hey, we have about 3 minutes before we get out of here to go to break time. Now, let me tell you, as cold as it is here in Richmond, don't you know the meter maids are out there marking those tires this morning? The meter maids are marking tires on the street this morning. And I mean, it is cold. Yeah, I had to, just pause about that for a minute. Went out and checked my car. My car marked at 10:43. I have 2 hours to move it. If you don't move it in 2 hours, you get a $20 ticket. So I'm going to have to move my car at least by 12:43. Hopefully I'll be out of here. Jack Gravely Show. What else is going on in the world today that I wanted to talk about? Oh, yes, I know what was going on. Have you heard the story of David Duke's man in Washington? You know who David Duke was. David Duke was the leader of the Klan in Louisiana that was elected to the legislature and didn't try to run for governor or senate, and he lost out. Well, during that time, one of the men who spoke at his convention, his organization's convention, and the convention or the group was for European males only, their words, not mine, their words, was Steve Scalise. Scalise ends up being the minority whip Republicans in Washington. And he is saying on a defensive basis that he didn't know who he was speaking to. He didn't know who he was speaking to. That's akin, in my opinion. Tony Romo knows that he plays professional football, but he doesn't know the team that he plays for. He can't give you the name. That's what that is akin to me. Let's go to Tony, Bungalow City. Tony, you on.
What's going on, Jack?
Hey, man.
I tell you where you can park and you won't get no ticket, man. Park there all day, you won't get no ticket. You can go to New York and park, won't nobody give you nothing. The way the policemen deal now. Did you hear about that, how everything done gone down?
Yeah.
Really, really, really interesting how they said not giving out a lot of tickets, not doing pretty much anything. Back to this movie thing, Jack. I was going to hit you with that, Selma. We're not that old. I think we came through those times. You're going to find errors in that movie, and you're probably going to find errors in these books that these people putting out, like The Death of a King that have Smiley put out.
Yeah.
I see a lot of errors, man, and a lot of people just basically come along now. They just figure they don't have to get it right.
Okay. All right. I agree, man. All right, Tony. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get out of here and take our last break here on the Jack Gravely Show. 877-953-3990.
I better learn how to face it. She's gone, hey, she's gone. What went wrong?
Jack's just getting warmed up. Come on back after the break on WLEE News Talk 990.
Sometimes looking your best will require a little help. That's when Johnson's Beauty Salon at 402 North 2nd Street comes in. Johnson's Beauty Salon, a licensed professional salon, can provide you with the shampoo, hair trims, coloring, weaves, relaxer, flat iron, and all the other hair needs you would want. The shop personnel are all professional and dedicated to providing you the best service in the city. Johnson's Beauty Salon, open from Tuesday through Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. The telephone number is area code 804-649-2572. They're open Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Walk-ins are always welcome. Appointments after 5 p.m. are required on weekdays. Call Johnson's Beauty Salon at 649-2572.
Janice, did you hear what the Democratic Party did over the weekend? No, what? Instead of letting me decide who I want as my delegate, 100 party officials got together and chose for me. I couldn't even vote. It's just wrong.
I heard about that. Who gave them the right to decide for me?
How dare they? Who are these 100 people anyway?
I don't know, but I'll tell you this. I'm going to make my own decision, and I'm voting for Joe Morrissey on January 13th.
Me too. No one else is going to tell me who to vote for. For 7.5 years, Joe has fought for things I believe in. Voting rights, a living wage, restoration of rights.
And don't forget health care.
That's right. I love Joe. He's not afraid to stand up, speak out, and fight for the people.
Don't let party bosses vote for you on January 13th. Vote for Delegate Joe Morrissey.
This ad was paid for by Friends of Joe Morrissey.
Providing a safe, clean, and productive environment for seniors, veterans with mental health needs, and disabled in your family may be a challenge. But the Faith Sharon Home Adult Daycare Facility can help you. It's located at 325 South Hill Carter Parkway in Ashland. The facility provides daily activities for seniors from exercises to games to outings, movies, and they also provide breakfast and lunch with a great staff, great nurses located in a great area. The Faith Sharon Home Adult Daycare Center telephone number is 804-307-0707. Call them at 804-307-0707. Faith Sharon Homes will provide daycare activities for seniors, for elderly, disabled, and veterans with mental health needs in a place that is safe and professional.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, tail-wagging, backyard-hanging, and, of course, companionship.
And what breed would you say Satchmo is?
I'd have to go with maybe a lavish terrier-hound chihuahua-looking kind of mix.
Tremendous dog.
I'd also like to point out Satchmo's coloring, a white, gray, brown, black brindle, simply marvelous.
You know, it's such a treat to watch a dog like this.
Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive. And now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance, so common with this group.
And finally, the loving face lick.
It's great how he just gets in there and, well, licks.
Fantastic. But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
For live streaming audio of The Jack Gravely Show, log on to WLEE990.am.
I better learn how to face it. I pay the devil to replace her. She's gone. Oh, what went wrong?
Thank you very much for staying with us on the Jack Gravely Show. Let's go to Rodney. Rodney, you on, man?
Hey, Jack, what's up, my man?
Hey.
Hey, I'm calling two things. First one is, back in the day, you old school just like I am, playoff time, Houston Oilers, Bum Phillips played the Pittsburgh Steelers. The dude put both his feet down in the end zone for Houston, and he didn't get the call. This Dallas call will go down just like that call did in the playoff as one of the worst calls ever. Second point, you can't count Dallas out for the simple fact that about 4 years ago, Coach Coughlin for the Giants' face was about so red that you thought it was going to bust open. They played Green Bay in a nighttime game, and the Giants went in there and beat Green Bay at that Lambeau Field. So it can't be done, man.
Okay. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Green Bay is going to win it, though.
I'd love to see Green Bay and Dallas have a real good game. I let my Cowboys go this year. I don't like the GM. And so I'm just a big fan. I'm just sitting back and I'm watching it.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Rodney.
Yep.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Jack Gravely Show, the grand central station of talk radio here in the state of Virginia and, in fact, in America. We might be small, but we are the grand central station. Grand Central Station because we let all ideas come in. I don't care what kind of train you're riding. I don't care the name of your train. Don't care how fast you're going. Just don't hit me. But come on into the station and drop your ideas and your conversation, and we'll talk about it here on the Jack Gravely Show. This is your radio station that is entertaining, that is edgy, and that is educational, all in one. You know, we understand and we know who we are, but we have a good conversations piece here with an agenda. I want to get back to Steve Scalise right quick. Steve Scalise is the minority leader, Republican, Washington, Louisiana, that is saying to you that when he went to speak to David Duke, the Klan leader, that he didn't know who he was speaking to. Now, either he was incompetent or his staff is incompetent, or they're lying. How do you go speak to a group as a politician and you have no idea who the group is? And I know politicians make a lot of speeches, and sometimes they may not know. But at this level, and in Louisiana, David Duke, at the height of his power at that time, and you don't know who you're going to speak to, he knew. And then understand there are statements attributed to him that he is not David Duke, but he thinks a lot like David Duke. He's David Duke without the baggage. Let's go to Darwin. Darwin, you're on.
Hi, Jack.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that the movie Selma, also the other controversy is that the speeches in the movie by Dr. King are not his exact speeches. The writers went on and made up speeches for the movie, but the estate of Martin Luther King, the family is not together, and so they did not give permission for the speeches. It's similar to the fact that when they had the monument unveiled in Washington, not all the family showed up because not everybody's getting paid.
Well, you know, one of the things is that they could not use his original and direct speeches because they would have to pay the family, and the family would not give them permission to do that. So what they did, they listened to his speeches and then wrote up speeches similar to his words without using his exact words.
Yes.
That's what they did. Because they Boston University and the King Center down in Atlanta owns the right to the actual speeches. And
but
that's what happened.
But it is a shame that for authentic history, these people have not been able to get together and share the rights to the speeches for, and all this goes to people are looking at the movie now and say, oh no, this is not authentic. This is not authentic.
But I understand. I haven't seen the movie yet. I think I'm gonna look at it, see it this weekend. Darwin, I understand that the speeches that's made by the actor who's playing Dr. King in that movie is as close to the speeches in rhetoric, in substance, in delivery, and in words and in sentences as you can be without being sued for taking the exact words of Dr. Martin Luther King without permission from the owners of it.
And then that's good. But like you say, I think all of this will go into the fact that it's going to hurt them come Oscar time, et cetera.
Well, some people say that what you're seeing is an attempt deliberately to hurt the film for an Oscar presentation or win right now. That's really what it's all about. That every movie that you make about a subject like that that's lived in our lifetime, you can always pick something. Well, he didn't wear that coat. He didn't say this. He didn't look that way. But the basic essence of the film, they say is spot on. Andrew Young, who was there, said the movie was spot on.
Well, if you remember back when Roots was being played, there were people coming out and, oh, no, this is not authentic. This is not authentic.
Yep. All right, I got to move. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Jack.
All right, let's go to Van. Van, you're on the Jack Gravely Show.
Happy New Year's, Mr. Gravely. How are you
Same
today?
to you, Van.
Authenticity in movies. Let's see. Cleopatra probably looked more like Grace Jones than Elizabeth Taylor. But I digress.
Okay.
The whole point of the call is the national attention that's being set on or being put on the situation in New York of the police officers getting shot and so on. There was an incident back in, I think, June or July of 2014 where two cops in an all-you-can-eat pizza restaurant were shot and killed by a couple while they were eating lunch. Their bodies were dragged out of the booth onto the floor, and laid upon one of them was a note with a swastika, and laid upon both of them was the Gadsden snake flag.
Okay.
These two people then went to Walmart and shot somebody else. Why do you think this didn't get a fraction of the media attention versus the situation in New York?
I really don't know. I think Ferguson had something to do with it. There was not a Ferguson at the time. The two officers were shot in the coffee shop in the little eating establishment. I think Ferguson had a lot to do with it. Police issues were right at the height, and I just think it just played into what was going on in the real world out there. Other than that, I can't say why. I don't know why.
Okay, well, I mean, it was largely rhetorical, but here we have a very similar situation where two cops were, quote-unquote, assassinated. The big difference is that left upon their bodies was propaganda, memorabilia, something that is connected to something a bit larger than them or that they want to sort of represent or identify with. I also think that the fact that it took place, that one of the incidents took place in a major retailer probably also played a part into squelching its larger media spotlight.
Okay.
Just my thoughts.
Van, I got to go. Thanks for the call, man.
Thank you, man.
Got to get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back on the air tomorrow. We hope to have a guest professor from VCU. Thursday, we hope to have the Secretary of Education for the Commonwealth of Virginia, Ms. Ann Holton. And Friday, we hope to have Dr. Bob here on the Jack Gravely Show. WKQA 1110 Freedom Radio in Norfolk, Virginia. I want all of you to walk slow. Drink plenty of water. Gone.
Glad to wake up in the city that loves me. RVA, yeah, that's where the buzz be. Investing money, we reaching our goals, but be sure to save $1 just to get through the toll. Southside, positive people, with this one we got them. They gonna play this from Carytown to the bottom. Black people everywhere, Richmond we live. From Wall Street to Broad Street, keep it occupied.
Angelic voices, y'all know what the source is. If life is a game, the haters better forfeit. For the cause of real hip-hop, see we all came together like shoes and socks. To crush negativity, check out delivery. The voice that's flowing is positively God impacted.
The Jack Gravely Show. 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 Gravely Show.